This is South Florida's only real sports station.
Yeah.
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley Broadcast Group station.
So let me ask you, do we care about Serena?
No,
we don't care. We don't care, Mo. I just asked George, and Duff, he don't care either. To make a long story short, Mo.
Welcome to the 70th annual Mo Howard Spelling Bee.
I see all our knuckleheads are ready, so let's go. All right, Mr. Bush, your word is clandestine, like as in clandestine operation. I-R-A-N-C-O-N-T-R-A. Wrong, porcupine. Okay, Mr. Clinton, your word is monogamous.
P-R-O-S-T-I-T-U-T-E.
Not even close. Okay, Senator Kennedy, your word is sobriety. Yeah, sure. Who the hell picked these anyway? C-H-I-V-A-S. Wrong, porcupine. But I don't get drunk off that anymore. I've built up an immunity to it. Yep, it looks like the field's been narrowed to two people. Let's start with Ross Perot. You have an easy one. Please spell government.
That's simple. Let's go to the charts here. You've got S-H... horse, bull, cow. Anything you want. Enough said. Rest my case.
You're out. And Mr. Strom Thurmond, you can win this thing if you can spell the word antiquated.
O-L-D. Oh.
Hey, is that right, Mo?
And we have a winner.
So anyway, maybe you're wondering how come I played that. You wondering how come I played that?
Well, I know, but
that's right, because I already told you. How come this overhead is so good? Oh, it's because it's Monday and everything's screwed up in here. Yuck, yuck, yuck is what it says in the headline of Tom Jicka's column. Tom actually wrote a column that somebody might be interested in reading, but I doubt it. About the Three Stooges.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Larry Fine, Curly, and Mo Howard. And about the fact that tomorrow night on NBC, on Channel 6 and Channel 5 in Palm Beach, you're going to have the big thing. The Three Stooges anniversary special. 75 years of the Three Stooges. How do you like that?
Oh!
With Larry, Curly, and Mo. Just thought I'd mention that. What's the results of that poll from over the weekend, he asked. 1,777 votes on there. What's your take on the war protesters, we asked. They're exercising their rights, 559, 31.4%. I support them 100%, 396, 22.2%. They're a bunch of commie pinko assholes, 350 people said that, 19.6%. I protest Mo Howard Davided.
Jesus Christ.
274, just on general principles, even though it has nothing to do with the pool. Put him on there, it's always good for a couple of hundred votes.
Yes.
They're bad for troop morale, the war protesters, 89. I'm one of them. See, you know what's really sad? I'm one of them, 73, 4.1%. And that's because basically there are no war protesters here. There are only a bunch of illegal aliens and banana boat assholes running around there with their signs, Viva Bush, over the weekend. And then the last weekend it was the Beach Fest with the Getchkis, the Young Getchkis for Christ. The Getchkis for
Jesus Christ.
And they're unpatriotic, 36 said that. So let's see, you take 7, 26.6% said that the war protesters are like evildoers in one form or another. Commie pinko asshole evildoers. Which means that 74.4% said they got it right. But only 73 of you are one of them. And that's the kind of town this is. This is the end of the world. Which we'll get to in our poll today, which I think I got my thumb right on it as usual. Speaking of somebody has his thumb right on it, this story from Barry Jackass, and also it was in the Sun Sentinel. Just pathetic. It's typical of this town. Dolphins want logo off WQAM billboard. You know something? If I weren't here to actually see this, I'd have a hard time believing it. I mean, U of M, Donna Shalala, well, you know, it's a Blue Nose organization anyway. But the Miami Dolphins, the big macho Miami Dolphins, those big-ass football players.
They do have big asses, don't they?
Oh, God.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, 'cause we're the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, the Miami Pussies. Not Dolphins anymore, they're a bunch of pussies. That's obvious, right? Right, Eddie Jones, you idiot? Look at this. Dolphins want logo off WQAM billboard. The Dolphins on Friday became the second team to ask WQAM to remove its logo from the station's We Have Balls billboard. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
Dolphins president Eddie Jones deemed the billboard inappropriate in his response to Coral Gables attorney Wacky Jackie Thompson, who wrote letters complaining about the billboard of the teams whose games are carried by the unctuous WQAM. Last week, U of M President Donna Shalala said she was appalled by the billboard. She was appalled, boy, not just offended, appalled. And asked for WQM to remove UM's logo. The Marlins and Panthers have not responded to Thompson's letter. WQM General Manager Greg Reed said he's asked the company that made the billboard to remove UM's logo and will do the same for the Dolphins. Reed said he does not intend to remove the billboard, which now will feature the logos of only the Marlins and Panthers. We'll find out who really has balls, Reed joked. Yeah. The billboard is on State Road 441, north of Sheridan Street in Hollywood. It's unfortunate that station has a penchant for that type of material, Wacky Jackie Thompson said. We have a penchant for that. We have balls, let me say it again, is a slogan used by sports stations from coast to coast. In markets where they don't have a Wacky Jackie Thompson, where they don't have a bunch of weak-kneed pussies who cave into this kind of crap. Donna Shalala is appalled, and Eddie Jones of the freaking Butch Miami Dolphins. You're a bunch of pussies, okay? No wonder they always choke in December, all right? You can smell it. You can smell it all the way over here. In fact, I can just hear the fur balls getting their throats. Can't you?
Fur balls.
Fur balls. Oh, that's right. We got that's what it ought to say. We've got fur balls in the throat.
You and your homosexual agenda.
That's right. Balls in the throat. So there you go. WQM is in hot water with the Dolphins, and we're not in hot water with anybody. We're just going to take the logos off, okay? Wacky Jackie. And you're not supposed to be listening anyway, so get lost. Go over and listen to Dr. Laura excoriating those communistas. Oh, I got to read this. I got several things I want to read because I don't see any calls coming in anyway.
Well, we're not going to get any calls on in Broward today.
I beg your pardon?
Do you see the little dot that's missing on your little thing there?
Yeah.
That's the primary Broward line. Before it can roll over into the other lines, that one actually has to be working.
So, in other words, now
like
you're telling me this at like 7 past 9?
Well, we've been, talking about it.
Well, you know something?
To get
we're
it
not
fixed.
We're not going to get any calls on anything because this thing ain't working, mister.
How do you like that?
Well, what kind of a radio station is this? It was working fine on Friday, wasn't it? Yes. And here we go again. Another QAM weekend, boys and girls, where the phone don't work at all. A talk show without a phone. What a concept, Duff. How do you like that? Well, anyway, like I said, I got a lot of stuff here to read, and thank God for that, because we got no phones working. None. You thought it was just Broward, huh? George said it's just Broward! Well, guess what? Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Monroe County, all the ships at sea, coast to coast, from Uranus. We couldn't get a call for $1 million. Look at that. This thing is dead. Is this hooked up to anything?
He's going to reset the computer to see if that has anything.
Get out of here. Reset the computer, my freaking ass.
So like you said, you got lots of things to read, right?
This has got to be a joke. This has got to be. And you know
yeah, it is a joke on us.
But tomorrow's April Fool's Day. This is still the 31st.
Hey, every day.
Nice going, engineering. You guys are the best. And Duff, as far as I'm concerned, man.
Hey, the good news is,
go to the chiropractor. Get your back straightened out.
Broward calls are coming in, so I was wrong about the rollover thing. It might not be the primary that's
They're coming in? Well, they're sure not coming in here.
Well, you can't do anything about them.
Well, Carlos is diddling with it, okay? Oh, look at that. That thing is spastic. Woo! Look at the bright flashing. Well, I guess I better do the break since we have so many spots today.
Well, yeah.
Huh? This is, I sure didn't need to come back for this. So they got that SARS cleaned up in Toronto yet?
No.
They got that, all those germs caught yet? Once they catch the last germ, I'm going right back. Who the hell needs this? This is unbelievable. What a bunch of pussies. Poor Eddie Jones and the Dolphins, they're offended and they want us to take the sign down. They want the logo off the billboard. We've got balls. Let's put up a billboard for U of M and the Dolphins that says we've got no balls. How do you like that? Can you make that a little bit bigger, Carlos? Oh, look at that now. The lines are flashing. Wait a minute. WQAM.
Hey, Neil. Good morning.
How do you like that? I told you this phone was great.
Just what kind of balls do the Panthers play with?
That's right. In fact, they're going to put one that says we got pucks. And I'm sure that Jackie will get upset about that, too.
Oh, God. Well, have a good day, Neil.
I'm back to you. Yeah, we got pucks. Or we could put one up for the Panthers that just says, puck you. How do you like that? Oh, my God, you see that? We're offended. Everybody's offended. We're butchering up people. They're dying like flies over there in the Middle East, and we're worried about we got balls. That goes to show you we really got our priorities straight here in South Florida. Well, the good news is the phone is finally working now. Carlos reset it in here. How about that line 5, though, in Broward? Is that thing working? No, that thing's not working, so don't get too carried away. I'm not working Mondays anymore, I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to leave it to you to come in here and unscrew this stuff, or at least maybe I'll come in at 10 on Monday. Give me an extra hour to sleep. As George unscrews the equipment between 9 and 10 a.m., and of course we probably get a big tune-in audience for that. What's going to be all screwed up today? It'll be the phone, it'll be the computers, the DCS, the audio vault, the spots won't work. Of course we don't have to worry about that today. Nice going with that sales department, by the way. Did you see Bob Eisenberg came in here this morning, shook my hand.
Lost some weight.
Still looks like Bob Eisenberg. 10 past 9 at 560 WQAM. If you've been thinking about buying a new barbecue or any barbecue accessories, here's the place to go. You've got to go to Barbecues Galore. They are the specialists. They know their stuff. They've got it all for you. Let me remind you to get a head start on the barbecuing season with the perfect grill and accessories, all at the guaranteed lowest prices in the universe. Barbecues Galore carries barbecues in every price range, from the top-of-the-line commercial-grade stainless steel to the more portable Weber charcoal grill. For all your barbecue needs at the guaranteed lowest prices, this is the joint. Don't forget to shop Barbecues Galore in Plantation and in Coral Springs. Barbecues Galore, because they be the barbecue specialists.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Bill Rogers. It's time for the WQAM Beauty and the Beast contest. Let's meet our Beast judges, starting with the illustrious Greg Reed.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, our next judge needs no introduction. I'm sure you're all aware of our wonderful morning show.
All right, out of my way, Dapper Dan.
Well,
now, without any other further ado, I'll announce the winner of the Beauty and the Beast contest, so I can get out of here and go home. All right, give me the goddamn envelope.
Here you are,
And the winner is Bachelorette number 1. Okay, Beast.
I am the Beast.
You fat little toad. Behind that curtain is your date. Is it going to be Bachelorette number 1 or Bachelorette number 1?
Let me say number 1.
That figures you can't think with all that fat in your head.
No, wait a minute. Oh, you don't like to bother me. Give me a minute here. I can't think. Number 1.
Make up your mind, will you? Make up your mind. We don't have all time. All right, Beast, meet your mystery date. Sport Hole Radio Program Director, Clarence.
Oh, I was hoping you'd pick me. Well, I always thought you were kind of cute. Maybe later we can talk about sports. You said sports. Oh. Stop it, Clarence. I am the Beast, and you're biting my arm. Stop it.
All right, you two mullet heads, knock it off. Get in the back of the van.
What for, Ma?
'Cause you won, you moron. Ow. Now I got to escort you on a date to the Crazy Horsey Sauce strip joint. Here we are, kids. Go have a good time. Hey, where's all the broad?
It's a gay club, Mo.
Well, no wonder it looks like our audience in here.
You mean Neil's audience?
Not that backstabbing pipe smoker.
What's that?
Sports.
I can't hear you. Music's too loud. What was that?
Sports.
What?
I said sports. Sports.
Sports. 9:15 at 560 WQM, home of the Dolphins and Hurricanes. Oh. Yeah! Couple of real pussy teams if there ever were. No wonder they, no wonder they choked there in that last overtime, the Hurricanes, and of course the Dolphins. Well, December, they just want to take it off the calendar altogether. This doesn't sound right in here.
No, it doesn't.
Huh? Is somebody dick with the microphone too also?
Who the hell knows?
Everything else has been dicked with in here. We've been through this for 5 excruciating years, 3.5 of it up here on this flow. 3 or foe. Rhymes with Mo. Seriously, I mean, everything in here is messed up. Can't just be me. I sound like me.
Right.
But this microphone sounds like I'm talking through a tin can.
Hello?
That sounds pretty good. Anyway, here's our look, I'm going to do the best I can. The overheads are all screwed up, and you keep saying it, and we got more people in management in this radio station, and not a goddamn one of them can get anything done. Not one of them. They all talk a good game. They all got titles. They, fly low under the radar to make sure nobody can find them. Job justification. And in the meantime, every goddamn weekend is the same here. It's the same. You come in here and it's been a playground in here over the weekend. Including your close personal buddies, which I don't want to mention his name.
Joe?
Oh. Rhymes with Mo. Here's our poll for today. Which of these best describes South Florida? I think I've got 3, 6, 8 great choices. Well, 6 of them anyway. Which of these best describes South Florida? Land of sun and fun, paradise, outdoor funeral parlor, banana republic, haven for rubber rafters, maggot magnet, land of crooks and schnooks, or intellectual wasteland. Oh, man, what a poll, man. Oh, I am the best when it comes to this crap. I know my crap. Oh, we better tell the story about Duff and the pot police, too, since we're ripping him an ass, well deserved. Duff is now the pot police at QAM.
Oh.
Let's hear it for the Muffmeister, who busted Zach and, who was it, Vlad?
It wasn't Zach. It was Vlad and Anthony, I think.
Or whoever the hell it was. No, Zach was too busy eating. Oh, yeah, he's on a diet, Zach. You want some breakfast, Neil? You want some breakfast? That was yesterday, or Friday, whenever the hell it was. Want some breakfast? See, one thing about fat people, like I've always told you, we're all
like drug people.
food pushers.
Sure.
Food pushers. Here, you want some of this? Okay, I'll eat yours.
There you go.
Food
that
pusher.
Homosexual agenda again.
Yeah, food pusher. By the way, watch your back, Zach. I've heard some real scary things about what Mo's got in store for you after that bad trend. Anyway, there's the poll for today. So Muff at the, where was this appearance now?
At the Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, it's the
I
Beauty.
reckon.
Speaking of the Beast, another one of our fat people, which we have so many, at the Beauty and the Beast affair, widely promoted by another fat guy, the Humper, who came up with the idea, to try desperately, just not forget about getting laid, just to get a date, just to get a female in the same room with the Beast who wouldn't run away screaming. And so at this bash, which was held where?
Gatsby's, I presume.
At Gatsby's, no less.
Which is a really nice place.
So, who was it now? Mo and Geldy were smoking some, it wasn't Mo and Geldy, it was, Vlad and Anthony. Well, that's,
right.
So what about, they're overnight guys.
Yeah.
They're entitled, and they were smoking a couple of fat numbers there, and here comes Muff in a parking lot, you know, probably, looking around, cruising the parking lot, trolling. And he sees them in there, you know, a little aroma in the air.
Patrolling?
He was patrolling. He
Okay.
was trolling, not patrolling, just trolling, okay? Just checking the cars to see who's naughty and nice. And they're in there smoking a little number, okay? They were going doobie-doobie-doo, and right away got all bent out. We're going to have to have a meeting, and blah, you know, flexing his muscle again to make sure that we understand that he is justifying that fat salary his. You get it, don't you?
No, I don't.
And by the way, Clarence, talk about flying under the radar. I think he's under the desk. Yeah. Since the Beast got into him that first time, I think he's out on the desk. He's still healing from that first experience, is what I'm hearing. Anyway, so there's the poll for today. You got 3 votes on there already. Well, it just went up. Just relax, okay? This audience is really, really slow today. We've got balls. Oh, God, what a place. What a place. A place with no balls. No heart, no balls, no brains. Other than that, this is paradise.
Oh!
Seriously, no heart. Think about it.
Yeah.
No balls
no.
and no brains. That's South Florida for you right there. So there's so many good choices on the poll. Maybe that's why it's starting off real slow there.
I like Maggot Magnet. I think that's all
Well,
inclusive.
the reason I mentioned Maggot Magnet is because every one of these terrorists and all these misfits, all these notorious assholes, OJ, you know, it seems like every maggot, eventually, sooner or later, you can trace it back to South Florida.
It's like the bilge of America.
Right, exactly. Like the bottom of your septic tank. 3 votes on there, that's it? There's something going on here today, you know? I noticed Mo couldn't buy a call for $50 a call, and his phone was working. Let's see if this thing is... Oh, there you go, 15 votes. Banana Republic 5, Land of Sun and Fun 3, Outdoor Funeral Parlor 2, one of those is mine, Land of Crooks and Schnooks 2, a Maggot Magnet 1. I love that expression. You know who's a Maggot Magnet? Somebody that we both know? Let me give you a little, if I can get the damn thing going here. Let me give you a little clue. Another Maggot Magnet.
Yeah, I knew this.
Finds every misfit, every malcontent, every miscreant, every scumbag. He finds them.
It's like my mother. He'll talk to anybody that will talk to him.
Right, exactly. By the way, have a nice trip to Washington, remember? And by the way, see, I keep saying by the way because you got me doing that. 1 vote for Haven for Rubber Rafters, 1 for Intellectual Wasteland, and none for Paradise. I guess Mo hasn't got home yet. For Paradise. Here's an article by Jimmy Breslin in Newsday yesterday. Blood remains on the hands. The least blood, a small squirt when removing a needle, 2 drops, that's all, no more than 2 drops, and suddenly it's everywhere. It remains after all. Wipe it and it returns. Look about and it is in 2 or 3 places. Wipe those places and the blood doesn't go away. 2 drops appear as a needle comes out and then it's endless. Blood from the body of a baby bombed to death in Baghdad, blood by the pint running onto the street as fast as a swift river, has magic in its pure infant cells. Of course you cannot scrub the street clean because the blood from the baby already has covered the street and is in the air. Blood from a bombed baby in Baghdad goes over the wide choking sands, and it crosses mountains and then great land masses, then suddenly over a channel it's in Westminster in London, and people look at the sidewalk and wonder where these large blood spots came from, and the officer on duty in front of 10 Downing Street looks at the door handle and worries, how did this get here without me seeing this and having it cleaned? He has a servant rush to the door with cloth and polish, and he wipes the blood and polishes the door handles, and then he walks off, and the guard happens to glance at the door handle, and the blood is back, smeared bright new red over the polished handle. The baby's blood is off to rush over the ocean, a strange red cloud poised to rain, and it floats over the green of the Washington Parks and goes down a sloping street to the State Department, where as a man opens a car door for Colin Powell, he suddenly notices blood on the door handle, and he quickly unfurls a handkerchief and wipes the handle, and Powell gets in, and the car goes off, and the man who held the door is left in the driveway, and he sees the red that is still on Powell's door handle. When he leaves the car, Powell doesn't notice the door handle as he touches it himself. The blood-red cloud goes over the river to the Pentagon and suddenly pours on the car that takes Rumsfeld to an appearance, and this time the blood is left on the door handle of both sides. A sergeant wipes. The blood is there when Rumsfeld gets home. The red cloud then comes down the White House lawn and does more than a sprinkle. It splashes the helicopter of the president as he strolls out with his wife, his dog, and his chesty walk and slight smirk, and the wife is at his side smiling, for it's the end of the week and we are good, decent Christian people. God bless us and God bless everybody. And as they're about to get into the helicopter, an Air Force officer rushes up in alarm and says, please just give us a moment, and he has 3 people scrubbing so quickly to clean the blood from the helicopter, and then Bush and his wife get aboard and they fly off to Camp David, for where else would you go on a weekend, as they've neglected to have 2 men hanging out the windows and inspecting the sides of the craft in midair. Nobody can see the blood back on the helicopter. As they get off at Camp David, Bush's hand brushes against the baby blood on the plane, as does his wife's. At this hour in London, Blair arises in the middle of his long night and goes to the bathroom to try to wash this blood off. He couldn't do it before he went to bed. In Washington, Rumsfeld stares at the red splotches on both his hands, and Colin Powell calls out that there must be something wrong with the soap because it doesn't get the blood off his hands. At Camp David, Bush notices blood on his right hand and goes to the bathroom to wash it off, and he holds his hands under the water and rubs them with a bar of soap, and then puts them under the water, and he takes them out and holds them out to dry with a towel. He glances at his hands and sees the blood of the dead baby is bright on his fingers. He mutters and washes the hands again. He will do it again this year, and then next year, and through all the years, because the blood forever remains on the hands. Writes Jimmy Breslin in Newsday today.
Sounds like Commie Pinko.
Sounds like he's right on target to me. It's a needless, senseless, mindless, grotesque bloodbath. This isn't a war. This is a bloodbath. We're witnessing human sacrifice for fun and profit. That's exactly what this is. And you know something? I don't give a flying crap what the polls say. I don't care if there's only 3% of the American public who've got enough common sense and brains and decency to take the time to really find out what's going on and really use their own brain as opposed to listening to this endless sea of propaganda that comes out of your television set and most of your newspapers. I don't care if it's like 1/10 of 1%. That's where I'm coming from. That's my perspective. And as long as I have the opportunity and an ounce of blood in my body, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say it every single day. This is totally insane. And every single one of these people, all sides, the Brits, the Americans, the Iraqis, the Kurds, no matter who it is you're talking about, the Syrians who were on that bus, every one of these people who, and then the thing in the market the other day, well, we have to double check and make sure it wasn't one of ours. If it was one of the surface-to-air missiles that they were firing, what difference does it make? The only reason that people are dying is because we attacked. Right. That's the only reason that these people are dying.
What were they firing those surface-to-air missiles at? Bomb of love?
Not just the sky, but just their imagination, I guess. At shock and awe, Shawnak. The blood is on the hands not only of the people mentioned in Jimmy Breslin's column, but also on the hands of everybody who supports this insanity. It's also on your hands. 27 after 9 at 560 WQAM. Number 1 Chinese buffet in the world is the Emerald Coast. They're in Sunrise. They're in North Miami Beach, and their newest location is in Pembroke Pines. And this isn't just a meal when you go to the Emerald Coast. It's a feast. Get yourself a really good appetite, and then head over there and pig out. Start with 6 different kinds of soups. You can take any of them or all of them. And then try dozens and dozens of succulent entrees. Oriental surf and turf on the weekends. New York strip steak made to order at the Gourmet Center. A sizzling Asian grill with teriyaki steak and shrimp, chicken, seafood, hand-carved prime rib. The Emerald Coast promotes healthy living, cooking all of their fine cuisine with no cornstarch, no MSG, and only using cholesterol-free oils. The buffet features a full salad bar, a new sushi bar, and fresh shrimp cocktail, too. An Emerald Coast famous Lobster Fest is back, featuring lobster thermidors and lobster bisque. Bring, like I said, a healthy appetite, because the dessert bar, if you can save a little room for it, is splendid. They got pies and cakes, pastries, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, and fresh fruit, the perfect ending to a gigantic feast. I can just see the Beast, Zach, Fat Boy, and Josh Friedman over there right now. Probably put them out of business. Emerald Coast, 3 locations for you. In Sunrise, Pine Island at 44th Street, on Collins Avenue just north of 163rd North Miami Beach, and at the intersection of Flamingo and Pembroke Roads in Pembroke Pines. Emerald Coast accepts reservations. Takeout and delivery available as well. Call 954-572-3822. 954-572-3822. Be sure and check out the new Oriental Chicken Salad, too, when you head for the Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet.
Live and local. This is 560.
The radio's all yours now.
QAM.
So Todd Rex in here interfering with the show, by the way, Muff.
The Middle Eastern world will be exploded. Saddam had people killed with the gas that we sold him. First time aggressor nation and the only one that's going. Now more blood will be spilled to get that oil flowing. Forget about Korea and the nukes they're toting, and the right wing is drilling it over and over into our heads that Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction. "3,000 people killed are now forgotten. Let's exploit them instead. Hey, there's oil to be gotten. Going after Saddam to placate Osama. There's no longer mention of the name Bin Laden, but no one seems concerned. All comfy and complacent, believing every word of this cartel administration that controls us by fear through media manipulation. And the right wing is drilling it over and over into our heads that Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction. The loss of civil rights is the price that we're paying. We're all suspects now, Nazi Ashcroft is saying. I have nothing to hide, table talkers all are saying. Blind obedient cattle don't have any reservation. About unprovoked battle and world annihilation. Old regimes must fall and Halliburton installed with no objection at all. Democrats don't have the balls, and the right wing is drilling it over and over into our brainwashed heads. Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction. Only Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction.
About 30, man.
9:32 at 560 WQAM. Boy, this overhead sounds really, maybe it's me, I don't know. Could be.
I don't know, I got used to it.
Sounds really tinny and strange in here. Don't it sound strange?
Yeah.
Sounds strange to me. Not as strange as that meowing sound coming from the Dolphins organization. Eddie Jones. I mean, this is a National Football League. These are macho men. We got balls. I guess they don't have any balls. That's the problem. Zach Thomas, no balls. Jay Fiedler, no balls. No foreskin. 5670560. Pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Can you imagine the humiliation, the embarrassment that they must be feeling, the players? Here's the flagship station of the Dolphin Network.
Maybe they're all Christians. Well,
and they're caving. That's right. They're probably at that Christian prayer breakfast. They're not listening anyway. Don't forget, speaking of sports, baby, this is the big day. Oh! You going? Carlos is going. Beaner Boy's going because I gave him the tickets and the parking pass. And he's bugging me. Where do you park? Where's this? Park wherever the hell they let you park, okay? Just kiss the ground. You got the free ticket, schmuck. God, what a putz.
Going where?
To that thing this afternoon. Right down the street. Right over there. Over
Sub-Center?
Sub-Center. Little past the Sub-Center.
Pharmacy?
Past that market there. Past that market.
Yeah.
Past the Jamaican jerk joint.
Elementary school?
Past the school.
Yeah.
And right kitty corner
right.
University Drive
and
whatever that turnpike thing is.
Yeah, I'm going to go ATV riding. How'd you guess?
We got the Marlins and the who they playing? The Phillies. Opening day, baby. Marlins on deck at 3:30 right after the Mad Dog. Mad Dog's going to be doing a show, of course, I'm sure, from over there, right? From the stadium. You going to be over there, Mad Dog?
All right.
Good. Marlins on deck at 3:30. The Marlins and the Phillies opening game 4:05, followed by the big at 7 o'clock, who's a marvelous guy who shouldn't be on the air just to say hello. Eddie K at 10 o'clock and Joe and Mark overnight. That's the agenda for you. The big game. Aren't you worked up about opening baseball day?
I was talking to you, Carlos.
And I was whipped up last night. I was channel surfing. I think Mo and Geldy, I must agree with them on something. Coming to work, I heard them mention the fact that, or Geldy mentioned it, that Major League Baseball, I didn't even realize the season started last night. And I'm channel surfing last night, and there's the Angels and the Rangers. I thought, why is this? And I realized, I'm thinking to myself, well, the Marlins play their opener tomorrow, so it must be a real game.
Carlos is really stoked because since you gave him that money...
He's stoked?
Yes. He can afford a Coke and
smoked?
a hot dog.
He smoked? Don't let Muff find out you smoked. Oh, boy. Oh, there's Clarence. He just came out from under the desk. Coast is clear. The beast ain't in the building, okay? Look, he still got that smile on his face. Man, since he had that date with the beast, and I use the term loosely, up against the wall, since he had that date, yeah, like that scene in The Godfather. He saw that.
All that comedy.
Playing too much comedy with that fat beast bastard. See, I look upon this thing with the war and with the Bush, all these polls, 67%, 72%. It's the same as religion. See, one thing in life, this is a good lesson for all you people with an open mind, both of you. How many people do you think in this town have an open mind?
About 30, man.
And that's enough. Is when you find yourself in a minority on things like, for example, most people eat at McDonald's. I don't. Am I embarrassed about that?
No.
I am pleased that I don't eat. I'm proud that I do not eat at McDonald's. Okay? Most people eat French fries. Do I eat French fries?
No.
I mean, I'm still a fat, sickly slob, but I'm pleased that I don't eat French fries. Most people think that this is a just war, that this is for real. Do I believe that?
No.
Most people think this president's doing a wonderful job.
Based on what?
But I don't know. Ask them. Don't ask me. Don't expect
indicator.
me to defend. The Dow is down 114.5. The market has only been open 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And the Dow's up down 114 points. And the Nasdaq's down 21. And the Standard & Poor, underline the poor part, is down 11 points. It's taking a precipitous crap is what it's doing.
How are the unemployment figures?
Not good.
How's consumer confidence?
Not good. Bad. All-time lows. But we got Ansar al-Islam. We wiped out their plant up there, up by Iran, and then a lot of them did ran. And let's say it again, they have nothing to do with Al-Qaeda. They're a terrorist organization, yes, but they're their own terrorist organization. They got nothing to do with Al-Qaeda. And when we had the ball game on Friday, driving home, I did something I haven't done in years, and I'll never do it again. I punched over to for about 2 minutes. Big tub of crap. Who just makes it up as he goes along. Well, we have verification now that Ansar al-Islam, is affiliated with Al-Qaeda, and everybody's doubted it, but I told you that here first on this program, and here's an article from some Australian paper from the Down Under Thunder. And it's just that morning I talked about the fact that they had the same guy on MSNBC again this morning saying it's a long reach, a long stretch to try in any way to affiliate them. They've got nothing to do with Al-Qaeda, and he explained the whys and the wherefores, but don't confuse the right-wingers with it, because to them it is a religion. It's the crazy fundamentalists killing each other, which is nothing new. And I apologize for the redundancy there. Crazy fundamentalists. Sorry. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. West Palm Beach. Hello.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Good evening.
Good morning. Listen, three things. You killed me with the McDonald's. The best thing, I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. We're in the car one day with the 12-year-old's friend. We're going to get stuff for lunch. He goes, oh, McDonald's. And in unison, my children go, oh, McDonald's.
Feh.
You see the look on his face. You just thought I told him I was Jesus.
Even the Fedayeen don't eat there.
Listen, the worst thing was this morning before you came on, was listening to Howard. And on Howard, he was, again, for the 10th time, bitching and moaning about people complaining about what's going on in the war. How can people be so stupid to not do what this great president...
Well, wait a minute. Which Howard was that?
Howard Stern. Now, listen, the best part about this, Neil, is this is now... My friend had called me. I hadn't listened to him in a couple weeks because my friend had told me before. He turned him off completely, saying, what an idiot talking about backing this war. The thing that kills me the most is he sits there and tells people to shut up about the war. What the heck is he doing on the radio? If it wasn't for the people that fought in the last 200 years for his freedom of speech in this country, he would have never made penny one because he couldn't even have been a garbage man. And he's out there telling people to shut up because they're talking about what's going on in the war. What in God's name?
Yeah, well, what happened to all of these people? I guess I'm about one of the few left.
I'm amazed. Where is
the goddess, you could count her if anybody was listening, which they're not. But there's nobody left. And, of course, somebody told me about Phil Henry last week, and I had a hard time believing them. And
I thought it was a bit.
I beg your pardon?
I thought it was a bit. I listened to Phil twice, and I said to my buddy, it's got to be a bit.
And then I had an email from Lynn Samuels who said to me that he's gone so far to the right that he's about to fall off the edge of the planet, is what I'm hearing.
Are you sure?
And what was that all about? And, of course, he does work for Premier, which is owned by Clear Channel, so evidently everybody in the media is goose-stepping along if they know what's good for them, and I just haven't learned yet. I haven't got the memo yet.
It is truly amazing that these people... Oh, and the best part about it was now Howard has gotten to a new level. Guess what he played this morning on the radio?
I can't imagine.
The Sofa King, and they think it's just fantastic. They've just found this new bit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Neil, these people are insane. Thank God you're out there, and I know you think she's crazy, but thank God Randy's out there, too. Opening people's ears.
Oh,
think about,
okay.
Hey, listen,
have a great day. Okay, talk show groupie. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon. And the problem when you have only talk show groupies is you can't make a living from that because there aren't too many of them.
About 30, man.
20 till 10 at 560 WQM on a marginal Monday, March 31st. We get the brand new month tomorrow. A lot of assholes will be doing an April 1st crap. Oh, guess what? Somebody died. Anyway, Balance for Life is doing it for the Beast. He's lost damn near 60 pounds on it. He slowed down a little bit because he was busy. Him and Clarence went on a cruise together. They were cruising the parking lot. In fact, just when Muff came by. And Muff stopped, reached in the car and said, can that be felt? No, it was the jacket that Clarence was wearing. He wanted to know what the material was. He said, can that be felt? At any rate, if you want to lose some weight like the Beast is doing, here's the answer for you. Balance for Life. I'm back on my little black sack, I'll tell you that. I had two, what do they call them? Wraps. Reuben wraps. Oh. Well, I put down two. You're only supposed to have had one. But I had two of those yesterday. One for breakfast and one for like about a 3 o'clock mid-afternoon lunch, dinner, whatever it was. Delicious. No cooking, no calorie counting, no carbohydrate counting, no shopping. You don't even have to go to the supermarket and get frustrated. No cleaning, no worries. Just delicious food in your little black sack, which they deliver to you every morning by 6, right to your door, whether you're at work, whether you're home, wherever you are. And believe me, everything is fresh and delicious. For example, the fruit, the strawberries they put in with the omelets, man, just delicious. Even Humphrey Bogart would be impressed. 3 gourmet meals and 2 delicious snacks are in your little black sack, and that's all your food for the entire day. So it's not complicated. All you have to do is pick between 2 alternatives for each meal every day that you're on the program. And Balance for Life does all the figuring out for you. The weight pours off your body, the food fresh and delicious, nothing frozen, no chemicals, and like I said, in no time at all, you'll look even better than the Beast. So if you want to finally lose the weight and get your health back, that's the most important part. Call Balance for Life, 954-568-3229. That's 954-568-3229. Or check them out on that wicked World Wide Web if you like at balanceforlife.com.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hey, what's that in your mouth?
Miami has the Dolphins, they're the worst football team. They flub the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're on the ground, that's where they'll stay, they're never in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking toilet bowlers. They're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number, how many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins. Don't bet on them, you'll always lose. They don't know how to tackle, they don't know how to block. Their coaches ought to tell them to put Bengay in their jocks. Then they would run much faster, and even in defeat, go to the stadium, we'll see Miami Heat, and they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. The team that hasn't got a clue. Miami has the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have no fans. Just 50,000 assholes sitting in the stands. They watch the game and all they do is moan and gripe and bitch. I wonder how Joe Robbie got to be so goddamn rich. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. I hear the crowd begin to boo. The Dolphins have Jay Fiedler. That quarterback's a Jew. Run down the field and he will throw a pass over you. He'll never win a Super Bowl. You shouldn't be surprised. When he gets cut, that doesn't mean that he was circumcised. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Jay calls his signals in Hebrew. The Dolphins have no defense and their offense is a joke. Like George Bush eating pretzels, you know they're gonna choke. They'll always disappoint you when they're in a playoff race, with fewer points than pockmarks on Huizinga's ugly face. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. Oh, what the hell, 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, now they're through.
Oh!
Wow, what an organization. What do you say, how many teams in the league?
About 30, man.
Dolphins want the logo off the QAM billboard. I still can't believe this. I just can't. Eddie Jones. Eddie freaking Jones, a doddering old clown, who's got to be about 100 and what?
About 30, man.
Yeah. And he wants the Dolphin logo off the We Got Balls billboard. This has got to be the only market in the world. Even in Baghdad, they got a better sense of humor than this. They're getting bombed the crap out of every morning, noon, and night, round the clock, and they're still got a chuckle once in a while, you know? Like about Peter Arnett getting canned. Well, we'll get to that. Look at that phone. Look at this phone, boys and girls. Like I said, just put no wonder Howard Sperm and Phil.
Are you sure?
And everybody else. That's right. Let's goose step along. I'm not going to do it. Never going to happen on this show. I have to sit here and talk to myself for 4 goddamn hours every day.
Good.
But what did I tell you about that poll from the weekend? The fact that the thing about the war protesters, I'm one of them. What do we have? About how many?
About 30, man.
And that was it. In our vast listening audience out there, out of about 1,777 votes. Because the people down here, they're brain dead, most of them. You got a bunch of old Julios that are out there on the weekend again. Oh, Viva George Bush, all this other crap again. I don't see him invading Cuba, by the way. I don't see him liberating Cuba from that evil tyrant Castro, from that evildoer, only 90 miles from our shores. And yet there they, you know what it reminds me of? It's just like when the Pope visited Cuba. Same thing. All of a sudden they all got lockjaw. He was sitting up there on the same stage with that lovely outfit of his on.
The Pope's against this war.
Didn't you love the way that Fidel said, snappy dresser, by the way?
I like your hat.
Juan Pablo. That's what he said. A disgrace, and everybody in town.
Ay, Papa Juan Pablo.
Just dummied up. Anybody else goes there and talks to Fidel, comunista, blah, 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 you know, off with his head. But all of a sudden they were like in a catch-22 there between Iraq and a hard place. Same old stuff in this town, man. It suffers from neurotic repetition. The poll, we got 146 votes. Which of these best describes South Florida? Banana Republic 42. Excellent. Good choice. Especially after this weekend. Land of Sun and Fun 21. Intellectual Wasteland 21. Outdoor Funeral Parlor 17.
Oy!
That's my vote. Land of Crooks and Schnooks 15. Haven for Rubber Rafters 13. Maggot Magnet 12. And Paradise only 5. How do you like that? Only 5, Mo. For paradise. Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak warned today that a drawn-out war in Iraq will lead to an increase in Islamic militancy throughout the world. If there is one Osama bin Laden now, there will be 100 bin Ladens afterward, Mubarak said, referring to the al-Qaeda terror network during a speech to army commanders in the city of Suez, 80 miles east of Cairo. If there's one Osama Yamama now, thanks to this, there'll be 100. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen that full-page ad that's appeared in newspapers, the picture of Osama pointing and saying, thank you, George W., for this war, for invading Iraq, falling right into our trap. This is exactly what we wanted. And we had the first of what I'm afraid are going to be many, many, many suicide bombings, killing 4 soldiers over the weekend. First of many, many, they promise. They claim that they've imported 4,000 Shmata heads to do the same kind of dirty work,
right.
And I have
no doubt.
What was the
nationality of this particular suicide
Could have been Saudi Arabian, could it?
It was Egyptian.
Oh, Egyptian. Well, Saudis, Egyptians.
Right.
There you go.
Because what were the other hijackers that weren't Saudis?
That Jimmy Breslin column, you know something, I should just sit here and read that over and over again, as bloody as it was. Hey, it just... I mean, what are you people thinking about? What is there to think about?
What's on tonight? That's what they're thinking about.
What's on tonight?
What's on TV?
What is on TV tonight?
Good question. War coverage.
We expected to go to war. Everybody was focused on their jobs.
Oh, there's a wounded Marine. And that's another thing, especially MSNBC, these puff pieces, you know, with their bulletin board there with all the photos and the wives and the families and the children. I mean, this is news coverage? This is not news coverage. And the so-called news coverage now, over the last few days, has gotten so what? Nothing bad happens. Even when allies get killed, it's just, we just gloss over that. Like the helicopter that crashed yesterday.
Right.
Let me say it again. There isn't one person, man, woman, or child.
Baby.
Little child. Who's died in the last 10 or 11 days, however long this insanity's been going on. It's almost 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks Wednesday. Now, one of those people who died or was maimed or badly injured, who would have had that happen to them if it weren't for this illegal invasion, this insanity by the Fourth Reich? And they got this poll says this, and Zogby comes on and tells you that poll says this, and CBS News did a poll. They can take the poll and they can stick it, is what they can do. Stick it where the moon don't shine. Because the masses are asses. And the polls in Canada and in Britain now that the war started, you see, now they're shifting real wildly. Because we all, see, again, it requires too much of an intellectual effort on the part of the individual to separate in his mind the difference between supporting the troops and hoping they're all safe and come back in one piece. The difference between that and supporting this illegal so-called war and the people who are perpetrating it. Can't do it. Even one of the 80 million talking head analysts on MSNBC over the weekend said, well, you know, that thing about supporting the war, 73%, that's really supporting our troops. There's no, in the minds of the public, they don't differentiate that.
Right. How can you support the troops and the war? The war is killing the troops.
Oh. And in numbers, I'm afraid, much larger than we're getting. More
Yes.
propaganda, just like Vietnam.
Well, there's a delay.
Oh, they're like on 7-month delay. Here's a call from Davey. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
I'm okay.
Good. I just wanted to comment on the Peter Arnett thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny. The general analysts that are, the general analysts that are on the networks are often critical. They're often saying how public opinion is turning because of this. There's a lot of news, but Peter Arnett gets interviewed by the Iraqis, and obviously he's sucking up. He'd like to stay in their country and not get his head chopped off. He says a few things, basically that public opinion in the United States is turning as the war moves slowly, and NBC acts as if he gave away nuclear secrets.
Right.
I don't understand. You could have taken snippets from the press conferences held at CENTCOM or at the Pentagon, and you could have taken questions asked or statements made in the form of questions by reporters, and they were saying exactly what Peter Arnett was saying.
Right.
So instead of taking and acting like, oh, well, Peter was probably just saying this because he was in an awkward position, people are making statements, especially on the, I have to be careful how I pronounce it, the Fox network, the Super Right
Oh,
Network.
yeah, Ileana Gross-Leighton, another one of our South Florida embarrassments. She goes on the Fox News Channel and says she found the interview nauseating and accused Arnett of kowtowing to what clearly is the enemy by doing this.
Could we take
In other words, by speaking the truth.
Could we on your show, especially on your show, spell the Fox Network with the U instead of an O?
You can spell it that way, you just can't say it.
We could say F-U.
No, you couldn't say it, no. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. But what was even the point of that, huh?
To be funny.
I see. I guess I must have missed something. Here's Homestead, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how you doing, Neil?
Okay.
I'm a recent listener of yours. I know you've been on the air for quite a while. I just recently got into listening to your show.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it, man. I agree with you 110%. It's amazing what's going on with so many people in this country. And it's funny because, you know, you listen to the media or whatever, and they'll have you think that, that the polls support the war and 70% of America supports the war. I think it's just the opposite. I think maybe 60 or 70% of the actual population has, reservations at least about this, about why we're there. And it's funny that you talk about Miami being an intellectual wasteland. It's so true. You got protests in New York, protests in San Francisco, thousands and thousands of people coming out. You got maybe 10 people down here coming out for a protest.
That's right. And then we had thousands and thousands of old Julios over the weekend again out there. Viva Bush and Viva the troops and let's kick some ass or whatever the hell they were doing. The same old tired crap. This town will never ever change.
It's so sad because, this is supposed to be a major metropolitan area and it's like...
Right. Sir, let me just tell you something. This is a big, I said it many years ago and I'll say it again, just a big hick town with a lot of people in it. That's all. Hick town.
Neil, I want to thank you for keeping up the at least a liberal point of view things, because I used to like Howard Stern, but if he's going on and on like that about shut up about the war, I'm not even going to listen to him anymore.
There you go. Okay, have a great day, pal.
Thanks.
See ya, Pally. I just don't understand the Howard. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion, and maybe he really believes that, but shut up about the war? Well, what is that? People have a right, that's right, I forgot. People used to have a right to have an opinion one way or the other. I'll say it again. I said that Jimmy Breslin column is right, and I still believe that if you support the war in any way, I think that you've got blood on your hands too. Get out the ivory, get out the coast, start washing and scrubbing, get out the Ajax, the Comet Cleanser, and you're still going to have blood on your hands. Because all of this bloodshed, all this insanity that's going on, and we're supposed to be proud of this, seeing the incessant, here's another explosion in Baghdad. Every time I turn on the TV, here's another explosion in Baghdad. Wow, what a shock. Aren't you surprised? Here's another explosion.
I'm shocked and awed.
Yeah. And that Baghdad market, we're pretty sure that it was one of their surface-to-air missiles that came back at them, And like you said, what were they shooting at? Yeah, that's right. They should have been shooting those up in the air.
They should just sit there and wait to be bombed.
What goes up must come down. Because we just thought we'd go in there, everybody to lay, here's the flowers, here's some candy, and let us shake your hand and kiss your boots, and thank you for... See, this is called liberation by elimination.
Right. Maybe
this is a new concept, liberation by elimination. We're going to kill a lot of you, and then we can free you.
We're freeing them from life.
9:58 at 560 WQAM. Hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you have $2,000 or more on a credit card? If you do, listen to this. Dedicated Consumer Counseling will help you. It'll cost you nothing. That's right, it'll cost you Zippo. Dedicated is a non-profit company that'll contact the companies you owe money to, and they'll cut your payments in half. Call 1-800-4-NO-DEBT. That's 1-800, the number 4 and the letters NODEBT, and Dedicated will help you cut your interest rate, eliminate late fees, and save your credit. It'll cost you nothing. The bank pays Dedicated, you pay zero. So if you're tired of battling credit card debt, call Dedicated toll-free, 1-800-4-NO-DEBT. Call and find out how Dedicated can help you. You got nothing to lose. If you've had it with credit card debt, high interest rates, and late fees, call Dedicated Consumer Counseling, and they'll be handling it for you from there. Call right now, 1-800-4-NO-DEBT, and don't forget, it costs you nothing.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Push back tomorrow.
Tonight, Dole and Clinton.
Let me ask you something, Bob. What's your wife looking for?
Bob Dole says. What do you mean?
Well, every time she makes a speech, she's staring up at the sky.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you something about Iraq. I ordered 7 to 9 bombing missions in Iraq back in '98, but your people put a stop to it. Desert Fox ring a bell?
But Bob Dole says you got a blowjob. Your fault. All your fault.
Your people are fixated with my penis and still are.
Bill, you ignorant slut.
At least I don't need any help for my penis.
Bob Dole could always use a hand.
Bob, are those garter socks you're wearing?
Why? You want a date? You're not my type.
Hey, Bob, can you do this?
No. Bob Dole says no.
Oh, do this really fast. Look, I'm making shadow puppets.
I'm not even in the same room, stupid.
I know you can't see me.
All the same to me, communist.
Yeah, I'm done. Dog, you got my check.
10:02 at 560. Anyway, so Clarence was just in moments ago, and something I didn't realize. Little Beaner Boy informs me that Clarence has become a bugarron, whatever that. I don't know what that means.
It means you pick your nose a lot.
Oh. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T. This is just not working anything here today. The overhead sounds all screwed up. And you know something? We don't care. Oh! Just bring us the checks, Clarence, okay? We care about as much as you do, which is not too much. But you keep studying those sheets, you know, and the demographics and the numbers. How's the morning shoe doing? 209 votes on the poll. Which of these best describes South Florida to you? Banana Republic 67. Intellectual Wasteland 29. They must be people who've listened to the show before. Land of Sun and Fun 27. Land of Crooks and Schnooks 24. Haven for Rubber Rafters 20. Outdoor Funeral Parlor 19.
Estuvo muy bien aquí.
Maggot Magnet 16, and Paradise has only got 7. Here's a call from Kendall. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank God for your show.
Thank God for me.
Yeah, by the way, that Clinton and Gore bit was pretty funny.
It was okay.
Have you read in Michael Mann's book in
Michael
White
Moore?
Men? They got a whole section on about Clinton, how he's saying he's one of the best Republican presidents
Right,
ever.
yes, I talked about that last week.
Neil,
in fact, I'm going to read some of that on the air about Clinton is almost as bad as Bush is.
It's scary with all this military force they're putting everywhere, asking for another 120,000 to go over there, that they're suppressing the freedom of speech down here. I mean, isn't that what this country's supposed to be about?
No, that's ancient history.
I agree with this guy who called your show a little while ago and said you got to keep it up because you're the only outlet we got down here. Everyone else is goose-stepping in line.
And yet I sit here and beg for calls every day. It's the same old crap.
I don't know.
You think that, I mean, if there really are 29 or 30% who are very strongly opposed to this war and what's going on, are smart enough to understand what it's really all about, where the hell are they?
A couple weekends ago, I was with that protest that was on
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, but it was a paltry turnout. It was sad, and the people who drove by, just the anger and screaming and flicking off. We had a lot of support, but you also had a lot of people just looking at you, flipping the bird, screaming, "It's time to bomb Iraq!" and just hateful, man, hateful. It's a hateful town.
You got it. Now you're starting to sniff the pansies. Keep it up, pal.
Love you, real.
Okay, let him have it. There's a guy who's got some balls. Unlike the Dolphins and a guy named Hurricanes, there's a guy with balls. He was out there protesting, and you can flip him off and honk your horn and give him dirty looks. He don't care, okay? Because he's tired of the murder and bloodshed. And that's exactly what it is. It's murder. It's human sacrifice. That's what you're witnessing, okay? All these pictures on a bulletin board of all these fine young people. And keep in mind, again, this is not a draft anymore. This is an all-volunteer military we have now. These people volunteered to defend this country, the only problem being that they're not being used now to defend us against anything. That's the problem. And NBC and MSNBC terminate Peter Arnett, just as the caller said before. They've terminated the relationship with Peter Arnett after the journalist told state-run Iraqi TV that the U.S.-led coalition's initial war plan had failed and that reports from Baghdad about civilian casualties had helped anti-war protesters undermine the Bush administration's strategy. It was wrong for Mr. Arnett to grant an interview to state-controlled Iraqi TV, especially at a time of war, and it was wrong for him to discuss his personal observations and opinions in that interview, NBC News President Neil Shapiro said in a statement. Therefore, Peter Arnett will no longer be reporting for NBC News and MSNBC. Arnett, who won a Pulitzer Prize for reporting in Vietnam for the AP, appeared on NBC's Today Show this morning to apologize for his statements, which I saw they showed that clip, and it was unfortunate and pathetic. Representative Eliana Gross Rosanna Dana Leighton, Republican of Florida, said on Fox News Channel that she found the interview nauseating and accused Arnett of kowtowing to what clearly is the enemy in this way. NBC initially backed the interview. His impromptu interview with Iraqi TV was done as a professional courtesy and was similar to other interviews he's done with media outlets from around the world. NBC News spokesman Alison Galoost said his remarks were analytical in nature, were not intended to be anything more. His outstanding reporting on the war speaks for itself. But then, of course, the heat came down. That's right. And we don't even have the Heat games on this station, but the Heat came down. They want their logo off the billboard, too. How do you like that, Greg? The Heat has no balls. That's why they lose every goddamn game. How do you win a basketball game if you have no balls, huh? Just ask Michigan State, they'll tell you. Oh, sorry. Robin Cook, remember he resigned from Parliament?
Yes. One of 3 or 4.
I don't know whether it was 3 or 4, and that's not the point. The point is he wrote a great column in the Sunday Mirror yesterday, which I'm going to read momentarily. Let's send Rumsfeld and his Hawks to war instead, he says, which I think is a great idea. All the chicken hawks. All of these draft dodgers, all these people who kind of like disappeared and went off like the president.
We saved that list, by the way.
Yeah.
Of all these people and who and what and how they served.
Yeah. How they didn't serve, right. It's okay to send our young people off there to get butchered. And then we have the article also about, remember Agent Orange and all these other, Gulf War Syndrome, all of these other things. And of course now you watch the fires and you watch the bombing and you watch the oil.
Right, the plumes.
The plumes of oil that they're burning in the trenches around the city of Baghdad. And there are 5 million people in that city. And you then ask yourself, what kind of air are these people breathing? What kind of toxic fumes are these people breathing? They already are talking about all the children especially.
They're breathing the air of
who are
freedom.
developing asthma. Mm-hmm. People are going to die. It reminds me of what happened at 9/11.
Right.
In New York, in Manhattan. With people inhaling that. And of course, you notice we don't hear too much about that anymore because that would require probably helping those people out financially with their physical problems.
The people that don't die in Baghdad, they'll be dancing in the streets.
Just like we're not helping out. Was it yesterday or today that we have the story about the military? Let's at least pay them. Let's take care of the military. Was that yesterday or today? One of our bedtime stories on NeilRogers.com. Today. Yeah, let's take care of the military. Are we doing that? No. No, we're just using them as props on the television networks. Just use them as props, as human interest stories. But in the meantime, we don't want to take care of them. We don't want to pay them. We don't want to make sure that they get their disability benefits. Pathetic. Oh, but 70% of the public says you're wrong. I don't give a crap. 70%, 80% of the public eats at McDonald's, okay? They eat crap. They're crap experts. Give me a song to dance about the American public because their middle name is crap. Here's a call from Miami. Hello.
How come when the polls are in favor of something you're in favor for, the polls are always correct?
Who said that?
You do.
I do?
The poll guy.
Oh, this is the poll guy? No, it's a different poll guy. I never said I've always said polls are full of crap. Haven't I always said that?
Except for ours, which are accurate.
Except for ours, which are scientific and 100% accurate. Every day, you jackass. And again, there's a good response. There's a real good intellectual response.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't doubt that the people are responding that way. I don't have no doubts. I'm just got through saying because the majority feel a certain way or eat at McDonald's doesn't mean that I have to believe that or that they're right. Okay?
I mean,
once upon a time, 100% of the people on the face of the earth thought the earth was flat.
Yeah.
Did that make them right?
No.
And by the way, the church just got around to apologizing.
And they all thought...
To poor Galileo.
Thought that slavery was just fine.
Yeah. Troublemaker.
Sorry.
Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
I agree with you 115%. I mean, I'm Cuban and I'm a Democrat and I'm against the war. I'm against the war, so of course I'm a comunista, right?
Comunista, baby. Comunista, bugarón, maricón.
Here's the part that I think is just wonderful. All these reservists, when they are called up to active duty, they have to leave their job, obviously, and they get their pay from the military, which is peanuts compared to what they make on their regular job. And the government does not make up the difference. So their family's left behind. They're going to be able to make their mortgage payment. But our president, our wonderful George Bush, wants to have tax cuts for the top 1% during a time of war.
Mm-hmm.
And also wants to cut veterans' benefits. Not to mention he doesn't even have any legislation in place to try to help these reservists that are now being called up to active duty.
That is correct.
Again, just the Republican regime continues to pull the wool over the eyes of these people. I'm embarrassed to say my father is diehard Bush. He's the best thing since sliced bread. He's down there celebrating or whatever the hell they did this weekend during a time of war. It's just unbelievable. And at least we've got you as an outlet, and I know that you don't care too much for Randy Rhodes, but at least she's up here in Palm Beach County, at least, getting the word out for whoever is listening. And it's just pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic, and just keep up your good work.
Okay, thanks. Tell Daddy, get back on a banana boat. Get lost. Lost, Pops. Robin Cook writes in the Sunday UK Mirror, let's send Rumsfeld and his Hawks to war instead. He said this was meant to be a quick, easy war. He, by the way, was the former leader of the UK House of Commons who resigned over the Iraq invasion. He says this was meant to be a quick, easy war. Shortly before I resigned, a cabinet colleague told me not to worry about the political fallout. This war would be finished long before polling day for the May local elections, he said. I just hope those who expected a quick victory are proved right. I've already had my fill of this bloody and unnecessary war. I want our troops home, and I want them home before more of them are killed, says Robin Cook. Oh, and can I interrupt myself? You know who was great last night was Andy Rooney. Did you see Andy Rooney last night?
No.
The best, I should have taped it. That was sensational.
Really? Finally.
Oh! He ought to get a sitting ovation. But anyway, Robin Cook says it's okay for Bush to say the war will go on for as long as it takes. He's sitting pretty in the comfort of Camp David, protected by scores of security men to keep him safe. It is easy to show you're resolute when you're not one of the poor guys stuck in a sandstorm peering around for snipers. This week, British forces have shown bravery under attack and determination in atrocious weather conditions. They're too disciplined to say it, but they must have asked each other how British forces ended up exposed by the mistakes of U.S. politicians. We were told the Iraqi army would be so joyful to be attacked that it would not fight. A close colleague of U.S. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld predicted the march to Baghdad would be a cakewalk. We were told Saddam's troops would surrender. A few days before the war, Vice President Dick Cheney predicted that the Republican Guard would lay down their weapons. We were told the local population would welcome their invaders as liberators. Paul Wolfowitz, number 2 at the Pentagon, promised that our tanks would be greeted with an explosion of joy and relief. Personally, I would like to volunteer Rumsfeld, Cheney, and Wolfowitz to be embedded alongside the journalists with the forward units. That would give them a chance to hear what the troops fighting for every bridge over the Euphrates think about their promises. The top U.S. General, William Wallace, has let the cat out of the bag. The enemy we're fighting is different from the one we'd war-gamed, he said. War is not some kind of harmless arcade game. Nobody should start a war on the assumption that the enemy's army will cooperate. But that's exactly what President Bush has done, and now his Marines have reached the outskirts of Baghdad. He doesn't seem to know what to do next. It wasn't meant to be like this. By the time we got to Baghdad, Saddam was supposed to have crumpled. A few days before I resigned, I was assured that Saddam would be overthrown by his associates to save their own skins, but they would do it only at 5 minutes past midnight. It's now long past that time, and Saddam is still there. To compensate yesterday, we blew up a statue of Saddam in Basra. A statue. It's not the statue that terrifies local people, but the man himself, and they know that Saddam is still in control in Baghdad. Having marched us up this cul-de-sac, Donald Rumsfeld has now come up with a new tactic. Instead of going into Baghdad, we should sit down outside it until Saddam surrenders. This is no more brutal form of warfare than a siege. People go hungry, the water and power to provide the sinews of a city snap, and children die. You can catch a glimpse of what would happen in Baghdad under siege by looking at Basra. Its residents have endured several days of summer heat without water. In desperation, they've been drinking water from the river into which the sewage empties. Those conditions are ripe for cholera. Last week, President Bush promised that Iraqis will see the great compassion of the U.S. They certainly don't see it now. They don't see it in Baghdad. What they see is women and children killed when missiles fall on marketplaces. They don't see it in Basra. What they see is the suffering of their families with no water, precious little food, and no power to cook. There'll be a long-term legacy for hatred for the West if the Iraqi people continue to suffer from the effects of the war we started. Washington got it wrong Washington got it wrong over the ease with which the war could be won. Washington could be just as wrong about the difficulty of running Iraq when the fighting stops. Already there are real differences between Britain and America over how to run post-war Iraq. The dispute over the management of the port of Qasr is a good example. British officers sensibly took the view that the best and most popular solution would be to find local Iraqis who knew how to do it. Instead, the U.S. have appointed an American company to take over the Iraqi asset. And guess what? Stevedore Services of America, who got the contract, have a chairman known for his donations to the Republican Party. The argument between Blair and Bush over whether the UN will be in charge of the reconstruction of Iraq is about more than international legitimacy. It's about whether the Iraqi people can have confidence that their country is being run for the benefit of themselves or for the benefit of the U.S. Yesterday there was a sad and moving ceremony as the bodies of our brave soldiers were brought back to Britain. The Ministry of Defense announced that they were to be buried in Britain out of consideration for their families. We must do all we can to ease the grief of those who've lost a husband or a son cut down in their prime. Yet I can't help asking myself if there wasn't a better way to show consideration for their families. A better way could have been not to start a war which was never necessary and is turning out to be badly planned, writes Robin Cook, the former leader of the UK House of Commons who quit over the war.
Must be a commie.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Let me tell you about something that really is good for you, and that's Oleomed. Oleomed is fantastic. It really works. Oleomed soft gels contain pharmaceutical-grade olive oil. It's not just plain ordinary olive oil, but super concentrated and loaded with health benefits. Oleomed every day can help reduce the risk of heart disease and high cholesterol. Plus, there are 14 different Oleomed formulas to choose from. Each one combines pharmaceutical-grade olive oil with vitamins, minerals, and herbals to support specific needs from your bones to your blood pressure to your immune system. Just pick out the formulas that are right for you and what you need. And now there are 3 new Oleomed formulas, one to help you sleep, one to help you control your weight, and CoQ10. You'll find Oleomed at Publix, Eckerd's, Walgreens, Whole Food Markets, Navarro's, and Sedano's. Order it online if you like at OleomedAmerica.com. For more information, call them toll-free, 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-653-6633. Get your Oleomed today and start popping it in your puss for better health.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Don't like all the heartburn. Every time I see that retarded dimwit on my TV. He's President Dumb. Republicans muscled in an inarticulate idiot. I don't know why they would want this guy, but now he's here. We're screwed the next 4 years with President Dumb. President Dumb. Oh, what I could do to count votes once more and get who we all voted for. Why did you want this? Lips drumming, stupid heat. Mindless, drunk, and rich kid. He's even dumber than me. He's President Dumb. You don't care what it took. You got him in by hook or crook. The Christian right knows what's best for you and I, but have no fear. We've got a great leader here with President Dumb. President Dumb.
So we can't talk about your ponytail? 10:22. Jeff Cohen won't leave until we mention the world-famous pizza loft. In fact, there's still banner planes over Baghdad in case Saddam wants him a delivery. And Jeff would like to give him a delivery and all of this. Okay, nice seeing you. Have a great life. You look too skinny. You look anorexic. You lost too much weight. Say hi to Todd Dreck in the back before you leave. Give him one of those, too, for me. Speaking of the Jimmy Breslin column about washing your hands, I got to wash my hands, too. You want to know why? My right hand? Because when Todd Dreck came in here, kind of like a knee-jerk reaction. He extended his hand, I reached out my hand and he shook my hand, Todd Dreck.
I have some hand sanitizer.
I'm going to be scrubbing it.
Lightly scented.
And the hand, too. Todd Dreck, the unctuous one, was in here. Here's a lady in Key Largo. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes,
Love
ma'am.
to listen to your show. You had talked just a little bit ago about the air that people would breathe with. They were in Iraq and at 9/11.
Yeah.
A girl that I work with, her sister escaped 9/11. She has brain cancer, lung, breast, cervical cancer now.
Wow.
And this is what we're looking at. And this is what's going to happen to the people and the guys that are coming back from Iraq. And it's only the start for the people who survived 9/11.
You're right.
It's sad commentary. But I love to listen to your show. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
567, I mean, I don't want to be the voice of doom and gloom, but there are a lot of grotesque ancillary things that happen out of this. It's not like, it's going to be very antiseptic, and we're dropping these precision bombs, and we're only hitting Saddam's headquarters, and we hit his son's palace today, and, like it's all happening in some kind of a antiseptic atmosphere. Like right. in the midst of an oxygen tent. We're surgically doing this and surgically doing... In the meantime, surgically, a lot of people dying, too, and having their lives and their health destroyed. You're going to go starting wars, mister. You better have some goddamn good reason, as opposed to you think maybe someday somebody might be a threat. Somebody someday might do this and they might do that. And every single day, if you watch the CBC and the BBC, they have documentaries on again. In fact, where the hell was it yesterday? So somewhere. Certainly not on the regular networks. On the propaganda networks. About the whole history of Saddam Hussein and how he got into power in the first place, and about how he was Reagan's boy. He was Reagan's man over there. His man in Iraq. The anti-Ayatollah man. Yeah. That's correct. And after they gassed the Kurds and all this other bull, of course the Iranians were gassing them and they were gassing them back, so there was a lot of gas going around, but Ronnie forgets what it was all about. He forgot what it smelled like, too. And we didn't say a goddamn thing. We didn't care. We couldn't have given a crap less. And Rumsfeld's over there. They showed the pictures again over there. Rumsfeld shaking his hand in 83 or 84, whatever the hell it was. Having a real cordial meeting. And Halliburton's writing big contracts with Iraq in 1998, 5 years ago. 5 years ago! With the butcher of Baghdad that we're so indignant about now and represented such a great threat to our security. And there are schmucks out there, millions of them, who believe this bullcrap. That's the thing that's frustrating to me. You have to be a moron to believe this crap. That he represented any kind of threat to the Brits or to the American public. You have to be a...
M-O-R-O-N.
Well said, Mo. And what are the first two letters of moron? Mo. Here's Aventura. Hello. Aventura.
Yes, Mr. Rogers. You are the only sane voice in this sea of stupidity. But really,
yes, I am.
But really, what really the funniest thing that I want, which retard thought of that Operation Iraqi Freedom? From the same token, Hitler could have called the invasion of Poland, illegal war in Poland.
Operation Polish Freedom. That's
right.
Or
the Stalin could have called the invasion of Finland of Operation Finnish Freedom.
Yeah, right, as in you're finished.
I wonder which moron thought that up. Now, if people support a war, they support the troops, as you said, but nobody talks about money. Now, so he asked for $75 billion.
That's just for a start. That's just the way to speak.
That's for a start. Nobody think about it. One bunker buster device is $18 million. Mm-hmm. Each explosion they see on TV lights up the sky. There goes $2 million out of the tax, $2 million to $15 million of taxpayers' money. And these morons cheer to that. I used to think that he's a moron, but no, a moron would have done better. I mean, $75 billion could have paid for universal Medicare for many years to come. This is the only industrial country in the world where 50 million people in America have no medical insurance. So they go, when they get sick, either they put up with it and die, or go to the hospital and lose their house.
How about the $16 billion that we offered the Turks for blackmail, which they turned down, by the way? How about the $16 billion that we're handing out like candy? You see, let me just say this to you, sir. If it's me, if I'm in that position, I tell the Israelis, the $3 billion that we give to you in foreign aid every year, we're not going to give you another penny until you disband every one of those illegal settlements. We sit down again and have some real talks about a Palestinian state and cut all of this crap with alienating every goddamn Arab on the face of the earth, and that's the way you begin to put an end to terrorism.
That's right, and the thing is that what do you expect from a war criminal who was elected prime minister there? And now, anyway...
I don't know, I still think that Bush has got naked pictures, because Blair is too smart of a man. How he got snookered in this beats the hell out of me, I don't understand.
Probably they're expecting to get $160 billion. I don't know, because money-wise, England is not very well. But, you know, what really the most ironic thing about it, that people on pensions, they don't buy their medication because simply the real crooks are the drug companies, and either buy the medication for the monthly pension or eat for it. And we are giving away $16 billion to bribe a country to let our troops go in there and attack the foreign nation. Now, Saddam Hussein should have been killed 10 years ago. He's a bastard. But start a war is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we became the evil empire. Throughout the world, you know, they look at it, the evil empire. And there is another little thing I want to mention. You know, that's a Special Forces sergeant who killed his comrades by throwing hand grenades,
yes.
the Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I still say that I'm real glad that we still don't have Negroes in my country.
5670560. Well, I mean, I can't.
No,
put that
couldn't
on.
let it go.
No, but I do understand what you're saying. 5670560. How many they got?
About 30, man.
Pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a call from Plantation. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think probably the main reason we attacked Iraq last time was to take Iraqi oil off the market. Iraq has the sweetest and highest quality crude in the world, and if you take that much supply off the market without decreasing demand, that puts upward pressure on oil prices to the benefit of
Up 39
Chevron.
cents, by the way, today. $30.55 a barrel. I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in 1972, the Ba'ath Party was targeted by the CIA when Iraq nationalized the British and American Petroleum Company.
Mm-hmm.
Washington then placed Iraq on a list of countries that support terrorism. And, of course, that's the whole thing this time around. The reason we're going to capture and occupy the Persian Gulf oil fields is so that Washington can achieve vast geostrategic power and world domination into the 21st century.
That is correct.
Because the Europeans are heavily dependent on Mideast oil, the Japanese, that way we'll be able to control them. And also, Washington knows that in about 30 years we're going to be running out of oil. And most of the oil that's produced today was discovered before 1972. Before then, when we did wildcat drilling for oil, about 90% of the wells would come up dry. But now we have satellite imaging technology that can discover oil miles underneath the ground. So now when we drill, 90% of the time we discover oil. And that's what Washington knows. Washington knows there isn't going to be any great new discoveries of oil in the world. And that's why they're in the Middle East, to keep that oil all to themselves and to maintain world domination over the rest of the planet. But also, most of the world's proven reserves, of course, are in the Persian Gulf. Saudi Arabia has 25% of the world's proven reserves. Most of that is in the northeast corner of the peninsula by the Persian Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Iraq is second in petroleum reserves, and they're just north of the Persian Gulf. And so for years into the future, whoever controls Gulf oil will have the potential to dominate and rule the world. But, you know, if you go back in 1958, a popular revolution in Iraq overthrew the Hashemites, who were puppet rulers serving British oil interests. The new government helped form OPEC to resist Western control over the Iraqi oil. So the CIA backed a coup that overthrew the government and murdered thousands of their supporters. And one of the members of the coup that the CIA backed contained Saddam Hussein. And that was Washington's first aggression against Iraq. But also in the 1970s, when the oil-producing nations began nationalizing their oil resources and gained a greater share of revenue from Western oil companies, a tidal wave of Arab nationalism spread all throughout the Middle East. And that's when Washington got concerned and they first started making war plans to occupy the Persian Gulf. But it was really when the Soviet Union began disintegrating that Washington felt bold enough to provoke and trick Hussein into invading Kuwait in order to justify a U.S. attack. I think the CIA did this by giving slant drilling technology to Kuwait so they could steal Iraq's oil. Then, of course, Ambassador April Glaspie told Hussein that Washington would not oppose him if he invaded.
That's correct. We give him the wink and the nod.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think one of the reasons why we concocted this war against terrorism was to justify a huge military budget. After the fall of communism, I think Washington was afraid that we were going to start clamoring for our peace dividend, and that was a threat to the military's budget. So now George Bush has got a military budget that almost makes Ronald Reagan look like a pacifist. But another reason I think we're attacking Iraq now, of course, is to distract attention from the weakness of the domestic economy.
Market's down 165 points and the Nasdaq's down 28. I just mentioned that in passing. Thanks a lot, my friend. Yeah, that's right. We can't fight the commies anymore because outside of China and Cuba and Peter Arnett, how many communists are left in the world?
About 30, man.
310 votes on the poll. Which of these best describes South Florida? Banana Republic, 105. Intellectual Wasteland, 47. Land of Crooks and Schnooks, 37. Land of Sun and Fun, 35. Outdoor Funeral Parlor, 29. Home for the Rubber Rafters, 25. Maggot Magnet, 22. And Paradise has only got 9 votes. How do you like that? I thought it would have a lot more than that.
About 30, man.
26 to 11 at 560 WQAM. Marlin home opener today.
Oh.
Any interest?
No.
Say they're expecting a crowd of 33,000. Beaner Boy will be there. Free tickets, free parking pass. I wonder how many Phoebes they're having there today. Maybe 30,000.
Maybe a pin, a banner. You know, they got that maraca up there. I should fetch it for you.
The what?
On top of the console there. The Marlins maraca.
We have a Marlins maraca?
Yeah, man. How can you show your spirit without one?
Oh, right. Oh,
it's
if I'd have known
pom-pom
that.
that makes noise.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. The Marlins got more balls than the Dolphins and the Hurricanes.
And that one has hair on it.
The Marlins and the Panthers have balls. The Dolphins and the Hurricanes are old smoothies. That's all I'm here to tell you. Eddie Jones, shame on you. Shame on you, silly old coot. And by the way, I was talking to Mo in the hallway about that whole situation this morning. He had a message for Eddie Jones.
Take off those checkered pants.
Yeah. People are starting to talk, Eddie. You look like a silly old goat, just like Mo.
Take off those checkered pants.
25. See, you don't know what I'm talking about because you always see him on the sideline. Eddie Jones from the Dolphin organization, pacing up and down the sidelines with his hands behind his back with that worried look on his wrinkled puss. Eddie, everybody in town is starting to talk, man.
Take off those checkered pants.
No wonder he don't have no balls. Hey, all you homeowners out there are a few things in the world worse, especially on a nice warm day like it's going to be today, than going out in the backyard for a refreshing swim. You look into the pool and you see, what is this crap? What happened here? It's stained, it's dirty, it might be cracking, and the pool too. Well, don't look at that mess anymore. Just say no mo ugly pool and call our good close personal friends at Atlantic Marsite. These guys aren't just pool guys who drive around a little beat-up pickup truck with a cleaning service. These are a real construction company. That's right, they use full-time employees, not subcontractors. Atlantic Marsite specializes in the most incredible innovation at the pool business, Diamond Bright. Atlantic Marsite's been pouring it on for 12 years. They're licensed, they're insured professionals. They even train other companies internationally how to do diamond brighting right. And they'll give you, here's the best part of the deal, they'll give you the same great price they give the contractors. So what's not to like? They're in North Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach. Call Atlantic Marsite. They're the biggest installers of Diamond Bright anywhere in South Florida. They'll come right to you, give you a free estimate, and they also perform pool and deck renovations, custom lighting, pool heating, and exotic water features too. For the very best, call Atlantic Marsite toll-free 1-800-558-8883. That's 1-800-558-8883. Diamond Bright, do it right because Diamond Bright be a pool's best friend.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Rape is funny.
Yes.
No, Saddam's hiding a lot more than guns. They say they're weapons of mass destruction. I say we send a couple megatons, bomb Iraq. In the Gulf War, we let him off the hook. I think it's time to give his butt a whoop.
Rectum.
So it's time to load those B-1s up, bomb Iraq. Bomb Iraq. Till there's nothing left to see, bomb Iraq. Till Saturn's 6 feet deep, bomb Iraq. Blow up the creek, bomb Iraq. And they say he's got some germs and chemicals that burn, and then he might load them up
to an end. Bomb Iraq. We'll blow him up again. Bomb Iraq. Live on CNN. Bomb Iraq. Ooh. Bomb Iraq. We'll toss this stupid bomb. Bomb Iraq. From here to kingdom come.
10:41, 19 before 11 at 5:60. The bombs are bursting in air, baby. You can smell them. British soldier slams cowboy U.S. pilot over fatal friendly fire. A British soldier who survived a fatal friendly fire incident has launched a scathing attack on the U.S. pilot responsible for killing his comrade. He, the pilot, had absolutely no regard for human life. I believe he was a cowboy. He'd just gone out on a jolly, Lance Corporal Stephen Gerrard told the Times of London regarding the incident on Friday. Gerrard, 33, spoke to one of the paper's reporters from his bed aboard the British hospital ship Argus in the Gulf. A British soldier was killed and 4 others were injured Friday in a friendly fire incident in southern Iraq, the 5th such casualty since the war began. He was killed after an American A-10 tankbuster plane targeted 2 armored vehicles near Iraq's second-largest city of Basra. You've got an A-10 with advanced technology, and it can't use a thermal sight to identify whether a tank is friend or foe. It's ridiculous, Gerrard said. Combat is what I've been trained for. I can command my vehicle. I can keep it from being attacked. What I've not been trained to do is look over my shoulder to see whether an American is shooting at me. He added, I'm curious about what's going to happen to the pilot. He killed one of my friends. Gerrard also criticized the pilot for shooting when there were civilians so close to the tanks. There was a boy of about 12 years old. He was no more than 20 yards away when the yank opened up. There were all these civilians around. 3 of the injured British soldiers, including Gerrard, were flown home to Britain late Sunday after being treated for shrapnel wounds and burns. A 4th remained in the hospital ship's intensive care unit, according to the Times. After this, I'm quite pleased to be going home, one of the wounded Lieutenant Alex McEwen told the paper. Blue on blue has always been one of my biggest fears. It's something that my friends and family joked about. Don't worry about the Iraqis. It's the Americans you want to watch, they said. The proof is in the pudding, really. The fatal incident brought to 5 the number of British soldiers who have been killed by friendly fire since the U.S.-led war in Iraq began March 20th. Don't worry about the Iraqis so much. Watch out for those crazy Yanks, is what they're saying. Marlins game today, baby. And Clarence, who of course is right on top of things, comes in to tell us 3:40 is the Marlins on deck, not 3:30. Okay? See, we thought it wouldn't be like 40 minutes after the hour. We thought it would be like
about 30, man.
Minutes after, but it comes about 3:40. As if anybody really cares. Clarence, nobody cares. Nobody gives a crap what time your pregame show is on. I understand it would have been nice to get the thing right last week, even though he wasn't here. Where was he? Oh, he was healing up from the beast, from his encounter. No, seriously, I heard he was in intensive care. He had like 82 stitches in his
rectum.
But nevertheless. Marlins and the Phillies at 4 o'clock this afternoon, the home opener. It's going to be a happening. Nobody cares. Nobody. There'll be a bunch of people there, most of them free, like Carlos. They'll be there free. 7 o'clock, we got the big, wonderful guy who hasn't got any idea what he's talking about, Eddie K at 10, and Joe and Mark overnight. That's the agenda for you, baby. We got our own agenda here at QAM. Here's a call from Miami. Hello.
Yes, hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I want to ask you a few questions, sir, and I'm interested in your answer. Do you think that, obviously the world would be better, not just America, but the world would be better if Saddam Hussein is obviously not in power, correct?
Well, if this is going to be some kind of like a cat and mouse interrogation, I'm not playing along.
No,
sir.
I'm just saying this.
Sir, let me respond. The world would be a better place without Fidel Castro, without Saddam Hussein, without Osama Yamama, without George W. Bush, and a lot of other people. Yes?
Okay, and do you think it's not fair to the troops that people being so unpatriotic like yourself and everyone, against this war?
Sir, let me say this to you, okay? The most patriotic people are the people who love their country and care enough about it to speak out to assholes like you, okay? People being unpatriotic. As if the troops over there sitting listening to me right now, which they're not. What a jackass. If you're so concerned about the troops and how they feel, why don't you address your remarks on behalf of those people who have already died and the ones who have maimed? How about the 2 Marines who stepped on the landmines? One of them lost both legs and the other one a foot. Why don't you address your comments to them and see how they feel? War is insanity to begin with, but when you're fighting a war that's a necessary war to defend yourself, that's a horse of a different color. We're not defending ourselves against anything, and far from defending ourselves against terrorism, as every article has said. What we're doing, and as Hosni Mubarak said in Egypt this morning, what we're doing is encouraging and inciting more terrorism. Like the 4 kids who evidently you don't care about, who got blown up Saturday by the suicide bomber in Iraq. You know, people like you that got a big mouth, that use a lot of flowery, patriotism and unpatriotic bullcrap. You're a jackass.
Here. He wasn't calling from Kuwait or Iraq.
He's an idiot. He's another one of them. Another one of the masses. Just dummy up. You're being unpatriotic. You're hurting the cause. Just like that idiotic letter. I saved it. Those 3 letters to the Herald on Friday by Allen and Coral Gables. It is the duty and obligation of every American to support our troops on the field of battle. There should be laws enacted to this effect. If we allow our freedom of expression during a war, it will result in the deaths of many good Americans and our allies. What does that mean? Just another excuse, like all these other bushlickers out there, just another excuse to curtail another freedom. What the hell's the sense of fighting when you don't have any freedoms left? What are we fighting for? To defend what America used to be? Is that what it is? You idiots. There should be laws and let's have laws. Let's have the thought police. If you start thinking unpatriotic, if you start thinking that the administration did something wrong, they're going to come and get your ass and round you up. Would the world be a better place without all these dictators and the bad people? Yeah. Yeah. And it seems to me, for all the billions of dollars and all the bloodshed that we're going to spend, including a lot of it of the lives of the people that we're supposed to be liberation by elimination, for a fraction of this cost, if we had any common sense, any intelligence, we'd have been able to eliminate Saddam and his family a hell of a lot easier. We'd have given Dan Rather a pair of those glasses, like Don Tomasino got there in Godfather 3 in the neck. We'd have found some other way to do it, but that wouldn't solve the problem. Because we have to take control of the country. We have to put in our puppet regime. We've already got the general picked out, as we told you, one of the Bush-Cheney crowd's buddies from Orlando. We already got him hand-picked to go in there and run things till we get all our ducks in a row. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Richard, the Gore Vidal guy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be so sad if what you were saying was so true, and Americans are so ignorant and don't understand what's actually going on over there. They just had the former president of Costa Rica here at a fundraiser, Arias, and he had spoke over the weekend, the truth, and like 150 people walked out. Americans are so ethnocentric, they don't travel enough, they don't understand what the whole rest of the world is about, how different it is from our way of life.
Most of the American public are just a bunch of flag-waving, mindless, uneducated idiots. That's the sad part. And all the billions of dollars that are being wasted on this, including the $16 billion that we wanted to bribe Turkey with, every American young person in this country could have a quality education for the kind of money that we're blowing down the drain, but we don't have money for that.
Well, not only do we not have money for that, but we're going to be paying for this for the next generation.
That is correct.
And not only in money, but in blood, and the terrorist attacks that will inevitably occur here. Anyway, God bless your show.
Okay, tell Gore to stay off TV. They make him look stupid.
Oh, you got that right.
Okay, thanks. 5670560 pound 560, and that's part of the game plan. Anybody who speaks anything opposite, we got to get him off the air. You know what I'm saying? We got to do something. Yeah, like that. There you go. Let's get that pinko fag off the air. And that's freedom. That's what you people are worried about defending. What are you thinking about? A history lesson, a civics lesson, a geography lesson. That's what most Americans need. We read these things and it's supposed to be funny. Oh, well, 87% of the people couldn't find the state that they lived on the map. And that's supposed to be funny. And 13% of them, we're talking about 18 to 34-year-olds, couldn't find a goddamn USA on a map. Couldn't find their ass with both hands. How do you like that? Mindless jackasses who sit around, USA, USA! And that's their idea of, being involved. Being involved. And Cheap Channel, which owns every goddamn radio station in the country, are putting on these pep rallies with their pom-poms. We got our Marlins pom-pom here in our little rattle. There you go. We'll show them a thing or two. See, and it's working very well. Support the troops, support the war, as if they're somehow synonymous. And I'll say it again, every one of those people who was reviled, who was absolutely excoriated during Vietnam, and I'm talking especially about the people who caught on real early and were opening up a big mouth and screaming bloody murder. Those people, we should build statues, we should build monuments. Those were the real freedom fighters. Those were the people defending democracy against another illegal conflict controlled by the Catholic Church and by big business. A place where we didn't belong. A place where we left with our tail between our legs and 58,000 American kids coming home in body bags. And I see the parallels are scary. And in the beginning they got, and of course then we didn't have the kind of, do the video game on TV technology that we have now. We didn't have the embeds to go there and do the propaganda deal. See, that's why Peter Nett's got to be cut off, even though his reporting on MSNBC was heads and shoulders above anybody else, what they were doing. And I'm not a big Peter Arnett fan, but nevertheless, his reporting, and of course this came on the heels of CNN getting their people thrown out of the city. So he was like the one link that we had to somebody who might actually give us a little objectivity about what was going on. Oh no, we gotta get him off of there. We have to goose step in line with all of these generals. And Barry McCafferty on MSNBC said days ago, we had that bedtime story on there on our website, that the game plan is wrong. It's not going to work. They don't have enough troops. Tommy Franks wanted another 130,000 troops, and now the new deal is just deny Rumsfeld. I never said that, Does anybody believe him?
No.
Not anybody with a brain. Because Rumsfeld, he's like Hermann Goering with the map of the world. He's got the globe in front of him, and he and Wolfowitz and Pearl, they're sitting there. They've got the whole thing scoped out. Are these people military experts?
No.
Did any one of them ever fight in combat?
No.
No. But they're experts. In fact, here's the story right now. Boy, I must be psychic. I didn't even look at it. From the New Zealand Herald. Must be another commie pinko publication.
Right, sure, I'm sure.
You sure won't be hearing Rush quoting from this. Seriously, why did I make that mistake? I guess it's because we had the Marlin game on. I was desperate. Just pontificating with that big pompous voice of his. Rumsfeld ignored Pentagon advice on Iraq, says magazine. Oh, that's right. That's, Seymour Hersh. I wonder if he knows Mitch Hersh. Speaking of a plague. U.S. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld repeatedly rejected advice from Pentagon planners that substantially more troops and armor would be needed to fight a war in Iraq, New Yorker magazine reports. In its article for its April 7th edition, which goes on sale today, the Weekly said Rumsfeld insisted at least 6 times in the run-up to the conflict that the proposed number of ground troops be sharply reduced, and he got his way. He thought he knew better. He was the decision-maker at every turn, the article quoted an unidentified senior Pentagon planner as saying. This is the mess Rummy put himself in because he didn't want a heavy footprint on the ground. It also said Rumsfeld has overruled advice from War Commander General Tommy Franks to delay the invasion until troops denied access through Turkey could be brought in by another route and miscalculated the level of Iraqi resistance. They've got no resources. He was so focused on proving his point that the Iraqis were going to fall apart, the article by veteran journalist Seymour Hersh cited an unnamed former high intelligence official as saying. A spokesman at the Pentagon declined to comment on the article. And all over the weekend, Rumsfeld deny, I never said that, I never did that. You're full of crap, Rummy. Nobody believes you. Nobody even believed you and Tommy Thompson there when you were babbling about
Anthrax.
Nobody believed that either, you jackass.
Did they ever catch that guy?
No, but they've got a person of interest. They've got a person of interest that they're checking out. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon. I mean, you have to laugh. You're watching all propaganda all day now, not just on Fox. I mean, we know where they're coming from, anybody with a brain. But now all the other ones are goose-stepping right in line, man. Everything's great. Oh! Everything's on schedule, okay? The fact that the supply lines are backed up 250 and 300 miles, which last time I started reading history is probably not the smartest way to fight a war. The fact that's just not a problem at all. And the fact that they're encountering all that resistance along the way. So we can now first the deal was we were just going to sit out there for 4 to 6 days. 50 miles outside of Baghdad. Now there are rumors over the weekend, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe they're just digging those trenches so they can put their own oil in. We can have an oil fight back and forth.
Okay.
See who can light the biggest fires.
They're just big latrines.
Rummy and Wolfowitz and Richard Pearl. And then Cheney, the same cast of tired, old, warmongering, imperialistic assholes. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I just wanted to say that thank God the troops can't listen to faggots like you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank God the troops can't listen to faggots like me.
These people have to see that movie. Forget you seeing that
No,
movie.
no, seriously, it's the same old crap. It's the same old crap. Commie, pinko, faggot, whatever the hell it is, name calling. Not any facts, not any rationalization for why this is going on. Thank God the troops can't hear a faggot like you.
Maybe they should hear veterans. What a veteran has to say.
Yeah,
about it.
and by the way, there have been a hell of a lot of veterans speaking out bloody murder, a lot more fierce than I've been, because they've been through it. Screaming bloody murder about this. But you continue with all your intelligent, and the audience continues listening. They see where you're coming from. And I should point out to you, by the way, sir, that a lot of those troops that are over there right now, putting their lives on the line for your ass, supposedly, happen to be faggots. Don't ask, don't tell, all of that crap. As long as they stay in the closet, it's okay. They can go over there and put their life on the line for a little punk like you. For a little asshole that uses the phone as his weapon. A schmuck. A Neanderthal. Anybody visiting in town? Welcome to South Florida. What you hear is what you get. An outdoor septic tank. 10:57 at 560 WQAM. Tom Lehman and Joe Prieto at Howlett Pontiac GMC are proud to announce their Neil Deal March Madness sale going on. You know, today's March 31, so you better get down there right away because this is the last day of March, last time I checked. I bet you that Bob Eisenberg will be in here with some new copy tomorrow. What do you think?
No.
Neil Deal number 1 at Howlett Pontiac right now. Pick any new GMC or Pontiac in stock, like the 33-mile-a-gallon Vibe, priced as low as $13,998, and get yourself 0% financing for up to 60 months. That's correct, 0% for up to 60 months. Neil Deal number 2. Choose any new vehicle in stock and get you up to a $3,000 rebate. Absolutely correct. Get up to a $3,000 rebate on any new vehicle in stock. And Hallett's also got great Neil deals, unbeatable deals on dependable used cars, trucks, and SUVs, and almost limitless supply. And as far as your credit is concerned, it is almost never a problem at Hallett because even the lowest of the deadbeats on the face of the globe, they still can find you a way to cut your deal at Hallett. That's why people enjoy going there. No pressure, no song and dance, no arm twisting, just phenomenal, unbeatable deals and nice, friendly sales holes to deal with. It's another great set of Neil deals going on right now at Hallett Pontiac. You'll find them in the same spot they've been treating people right for over 35 years. 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's US 1 across from the Falls, open every day, 7 days a week. For more info, call the Neil Deal hotline, toll free, 1-888-534-4211. That's 1-888-534-4211. Don't forget all Neil deals are subject to credit approval. See dealer for details. Hallett Pontiac GMC. They be professional grade.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Hey.
You are to be happy and to be feeling carefree because President Saddam Hussein has defeated the infidel Clinton and the satanic America while causing great embarrassment to the covetous and inflicting great pain on our enemies during the recent UN inspection standoff. This is why, my fellow Iraqi citizens, Baghdad McDonald's is to be celebrating most strenuously this weekend. Yes, automatic weapons are to be fired into the air without regard for human safety as you enter the Baghdad McDonald's. Bring what remains of your family to be meeting Ronald Mohammed at the door.
Do not be forgetting, at noon today, I am to be chopping off the hands of the hamburglar.
You are to be sending the fruit of your loins to play in the kiddie bunker as you choose from a most tempting menu that includes Big Macs with secret scud sauce, Fish McBoom sandwiches, Quarter Pounder with fuse, not to be forgetting our famous flies. Yes, my fellow Iraqi citizens, we are to be celebrating our wondrous leader Saddam Hussein's victory over the soulless ones of the United Nations and eat this weekend at the Baghdad McDonald's.
A portion of proceeds will be given to our great leader Saddam Hussein's most secretive researching program to be building weapons of mass destruction.
1101 at 560 WQAM 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. On NeilRogers.com today we asked which of these best describes South Florida. 379 votes, pretty heavy duty. Banana Republic 119. Intellectual Wasteland 58. Land of Crooks and Schnooks 47. Land of Sun and Fun 41. Outdoor Funeral Parlor 36. Haven for Rubber Rafters 34. Maggot Magnet 29. And Paradise 16. You know, when you wear lime green pants, you have bad varicose veins and a big smelly bag. I guess this must be paradise. Especially when you can't go anyplace else. Oh, there's Ken Allard, Colonel Ken Allard. He's one of the worst shows of them all on MSNBC.
Clean up some of these other areas.
Yeah, let's clean them up a little bit. You know, clean them up. You know, nobody's going to die. Just clean them up. Very antiseptic. Get out the Comet Cleanser. Get out the Ajax.
Clean them from life.
Oh, brother. This guy, every time they put this guy in there, they ought to be playing Everything's Coming Up Roses in the background. Da, 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 you know. Here's a lady in Melbourne. Hello.
Melbourne?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Neil.
How are you?
I'm so happy to hear you again. I lost you for several years when I moved from South Florida, and I'm so delighted that you're back on the air. You are right on.
Well, I never went anywhere. You were gone, but I've been here.
I thought you were in Canada now.
Yeah, but I broadcast the show from there sometime, but I'm always on this station.
Right. Well, see, I couldn't get you because I moved from South Florida up to Lake City, and I couldn't possibly, reach that station. I couldn't.
How about on the Internet? Do you have a computer?
I didn't have one when I was up there.
Well, shame on you.
I know. I was a little behind time. Darling, I got onto the Internet and I checked out the voting on that Should Arnett Be Fired.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen those?
No, now who's taking that poll?
The poll is Newsday.com.
Okay.
Yes, 69.4%. Can you believe this? No, sure. 27.5%. And not sure, 3.1%. Does that tell you the mentality of this country? What is
absolutely.
Wrong with us?
Right.
The superiority. Neil, I am a veteran. I'm a veteran protester. I started with the Korean War and with Vietnam and Cambodia and Nicaragua and all of it. All of it. I have been protesting wars. I have never, ever seen an attitude like this nation has shown since the inauguration.
Well, the good news is I just checked the poll.
Yes.
1,283 responses. Should he have been fired? 59%. No, 38.5%. Not sure, 2.5%.
Where's that one?
So
Where's that one?
On Newsday.
Well, that happened since I've been on hold.
Yeah, well, there weren't really that many votes in the beginning. Plus, of course, you can always assume that the freepers from the right-wing websites are loading this up with phony votes, so
exactly.
That's really close.
Exactly. Neil, what the hell more do they want? They won the White House. They got the
No, they did not win the White House. They stole the White House.
They were anointed and appointed by the
Supreme Court, right, by their people.
I made a mistake.
By Clarence Token Thomas.
Absolutely. And, you are just so right on, Neil. I just love listening to your show.
Yes, I
am. And keep up the good work.
Okay, thanks.
We need voices like you.
I'm glad you found us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Peter Arnett canned by National Geographic and MSNBC because he gave an interview on Iraqi TV and he spoke the truth. He spoke his opinion. That we miscalculated and that we're going to redesigning our war plan now. Wait, he's not the only one saying that.
Well, he had nada.
He's done. Finito. Won't see him no more. Here's Miami. Hello.
What's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Neil, Peter Arnett spoke the truth that everybody knew. All right, he didn't say anything different. We all know there's not enough troops in there to do anything. It's the Vietnam mistake all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Air power does not win wars. I don't care if you have the most sophisticated flying machine in the world. It's not going to do squat.
Especially when you're trying to do the surgical war, because, if you start dropping bombs in residential areas, that the rest of the world is going to, come down on you, and the American public is going to have a nervous breakdown.
All they're doing is hiding in their little holes, waiting till the bombs to stop before they can come out and start pud whacking everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Colin Powell, they have him locked away in a closet. I mean, I haven't seen him all during this time. And Rumsfeld, not only do we have not enough troops to fight Iraq, he's threatening Syria and Iran.
Yeah, that was another thing. We have that on the website. A great column by Maureen Dowdigan about Syria and Iran.
I mean, that's all our troops over there need. They need our support, but that's all they need for Syria and Iran to get involved in this. And then we got North Korea shooting off rockets, red glare all over the place. I mean, this is going to be a mistake, and this mistake is going to cost American lives and blood. And you know what? When the elections come next time in Brit, I won't be mistaken if this guy is out, and whoever goes in pulls all his British troops out of there. And you know what? I'll be glad they pull out.
When in doubt, pull them out.
Thank you, Leo.
Okay, thank you,
have
sir.
A good one,
Bye-bye. Tony Blair. Maybe the naked pictures are Tony Blair and Colin Powell. What do you think? Huh? Could be. Because Colin was adamantly opposed to this in the beginning, and all of a sudden, he made that wild turn,
Yeah.
And supposedly because he got pissed off that he had some comments by the French and the Germans, whatever, but I don't think that was it.
No. He has a family, right?
There was something else involved there. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. British MP sees catastrophe ahead. That's on our website today. Or was it yesterday? Well, one of these days. If I wanted to sit and read all the bedtime stories, we could go till midnight. I don't want to do that. But I think I might reread the Jimmy Breslin thing at the end of the show. I already tore it up. I'll print it out again. And he's right. There's blood on the hands of the people who are perpetrating this, and I'll say it again, even though he didn't say it, there's blood on the hands of everybody who's supporting it, either directly or indirectly. Blood on your hands. Go to the sink, get out the comic cleanser, and start scrubbing right now. No matter how hard you scrub, like Jimmy Breslin said, it still comes back. It's still there. Just like we thought with Petey Lenny. And then finally, cut that cord. Here's a call from Coral Springs. Hello.
Hi, Neil. No, that's not blood on their hands, Neil. That's oil.
Yeah.
It's oil. This is all about a $1 billion contract for Halliburton Oil. That was in the Sunday paper.
Yeah.
I noticed that's not splattered on the TV underneath.
Well, we talked about that months and months and months and months ago, over a year ago.
No. I mean, they just got this $1 billion contract.
Yeah, but we knew they were going to get it. That's old news. Believe me.
And I don't know how people can support a president who's done nothing but sell us out since he's gotten in there.
Yeah.
He sold us out on the economy with that stupid 10-year tax cut, which whether you're to the far left or far right, most normal thinking people said it was a bad idea. He sold us out on the environment by taking like $1 million or $2 million from his coal buddies and then relaxing the standards so they don't have to spend tens of millions of dollars to fix up their air condition, to fix up their air. And now he's selling us out human life for oil. Why would you go and attack somebody while they're in the middle? He didn't even let them destroy the missiles they were destroying. If you're going to send your troops in, aren't you going to destroy the weapons?
Out of time, man. We were out of time.
Yeah, and why did it
essence.
have to be on that certain time level? It had to be in that time level. Couldn't wait another 2 months.
That was Rummy's time limit.
Yeah, what a bunch of crap.
Okay, pal. Amen. Bunch of crap is what he said. Crap, C-R-A-P. Like that. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. 10 past 11. Don't forget, it's Marlins opener, man. Big day in South Florida. Marlins have balls. Right. We got the maracas, man. We're going to bring out the mariachi band in a little while, do a little pregame festivities here on the air. Now, what time is that pregame show? 3:40, 2:30? 3:41, 72? Well, he's just, Clarence hasn't been the same since, I think he's letting, the beast get to him, so to speak. Oh, here's some new copy from my friend Alan over at Delights, and what timing, too. Isn't it coming up right now? It's coming up right this moment. Thank you, Alan. Of course, he knows Petey Lenny's gone. In fact, Alan's probably dancing a jig. You don't have to see him anymore. Delights of West Boca can help you slim down with over 700 low-carbohydrate, sugar-free products, whether it's number 1 Atkins diet or any low-carb, sugar-free diet. Delights of West Boca is your low-carb superstore. Come in and sample some of their newest bakery products, like chocolate cupcakes and brownies for all you brownie hounds by Control Carb. with only one effective gram of carbs per serving. And don't forget Delight's incredible selection of low-carb pastas, sauces, dressings, cheesecakes, chocolates, and their famous soft-serve Carbolite ice cream. Tiny used to leave soft serve. Don't forget, at Delight's of West Boca, all Atkins products are 25% off all day, every day. Stop by, talk to their knowledgeable staff, and you'll see why I've been telling you about this incredible store for the past 3 years. There's no place like it. They're open every day, 10 to 10, on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. You can call them toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB, or shop them on the web at lowcarb.com. Don't forget, that's Delight's of West Boca, your official Atkins retail center.
Live and local. This is 560.
The radio's all yours now.
QAM.
With the sewer of this place.
Summer that'll love folk dog to.
Look, what's on my shoe?
It's a flea. It's Superbush.
Yes, Superbush. Impervious to any wrongdoing. Imbued with the power of God. And who, disguised as the president and protected by the mainstream press, fights a never-ending battle for oil, Halliburton, and the American f***ing way.
Stop right there, evildoers. Now pump your magic oil, Janie.
Superbush! North Korea's firing nuclear missiles right at us. You gotta do something.
They got oil there?
I don't think so.
Well, maybe later.
11:13. I was busy over here doing something. Okay, just relax. I was printing out the Jimmy Breslin story again. Plus, of course, these breaks, man. Hey, you salespeople, go out and sell some spots, will you? Good golly, oh, miss, my last day of the month, so naturally everything kind of runs off. This business is just sad, really tragic. I guess somebody forgot to tell the president about Jimmy Olsen.
Gay.
Yeah. Otherwise he wouldn't be associated with something like that. 5670560. Are there faxes coming in on this thing or not?
I don't know. I unplugged it. Plugged it back in.
It's printing, but now that I think about it.
Huh.
Says incoming call, normal answer mode, but I don't think it's doing nothing. I think somebody messed also over the weekend with our fax machine. They tinkered with it, which would not be a good thing, which that's the last thing in the world that we need. Here's a call from Pompano. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes, I am.
Hey, you're getting some calls, it sounds like. I'm
about time.
Feel inadequate with my call.
Probably.
First, the reason why I called originally was about who got fired, Pierre Arnett.
Yeah.
You said you saw it on the Today Show?
I didn't see the Today Show itself, but they re-showed the clip on MSNBC.
Did you notice that right directly after the interview, for some reason, both Katie and what the hell is his name?
Matt
were giggling under their breath. Did you notice that?
No, I did not see that because I didn't see. Like I said, I only saw the clip of his apology.
Unbelievable.
They were laughing. What were they laughing about?
I can't figure out why. I'm trying to figure out why they were doing that. But just directly right after he got off and he apologized. I'm sorry to hear that that was bad.
Yeah, I wish he wouldn't have done that.
He shouldn't have done that, but because he was fired already. But right after they shut his video off and they went to the set, they were giggling under it. And they tried to hide it. It was weird.
Thanks for the good news. Okay, Matt and Katie, a couple of bubbleheads, which is why millions of people watch that crap. Nice haircut, by the way, Matt. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. And I don't know what happened to him. He used to have a head full of hair. You know how many hairs he's got left?
About 30, man.
Here's Lake Worth. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Neil, my husband and I are looking for a new paradise place to run away to. I can't even watch the news hardly anymore. It's just so disturbing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you that I was on Playvex for 2 years with aspirin, and you can survive. Not pretty, and the doctors want to get you off it as soon as they can.
Yeah.
But you can get through some Playvex.
And you didn't develop purple
bruising. My whole body was a bruise.
I'm not going to do that.
It was horrendous.
I have to be out of my mind to do that.
Yeah, I know. I went back to emergency rooms and talked to people and tried to get off it. And what
did they say?
Well, because I had one valve in my heart that's that was clogged, and because I had a really bad heart attack, and they said you have to stay on it in order to keep that valve open.
Right.
Finally, they ended up doing.
Well, see, your problem was a lot more extreme than mine was.
Right, and they ended up doing a radiation treatment. They put a pellet of radiation in the artery, and it opened it. It's like a brand new procedure. So it's been successful, thank God.
Excellent, good.
Yeah, but I wanted to let you know you can survive, but boy, it's nasty stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to walk around like the purple people eater anymore.
And I had trouble eating. It ate away or it felt like I had thin skin on the inside of my mouth, and I couldn't eat any hot seasoning foods.
Really?
Oh, it was horrendous. Horrendous. So
I wish I had the same problem. I mean, not the feeling in the mouth, but the
Right.
eating problem.
Right.
Okay,
Well,
I'm glad everything worked out.
good luck to you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. Another lady in Orlando. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Yeah. I am from Phoenix, and we're listening to your show. And we just have a couple of comments.
Okay.
First, we were wondering what your opinion is on these Iraqis that are, sacrificing themselves or killing their own people to fight. It seems like we're only talking about our troops and, that we shouldn't be there, yada, yada, yada. The other thing is, what do you think about that?
I don't know what you want me to say about that. As if we don't know that kind of thing is going to happen?
Well, what do you mean we don't know that kind of thing?
The CIA already warned that these kinds of things were going to happen. They knew that the kinds of things that were going to be done.
So you think we're supposed to stand by and let them do that?
No, what I think is we don't put our troops in harm's way. We don't put troops in there and fight the war the kind of way that we're fighting it and let these people be butchered and blown away. That's what I think.
Well, anyway, we have
not to mention all the civilians who are being used as human shields and being slaughtered. Ma'am, I'm not going to waste my time, okay? You sound like a simpleton. Go back to Phoenix. Go back to Cactus Country. No, she's a simpleton.
What do you think about...
Yeah, all these terrible things that they're doing. No, see, let me say it again. These are the same people who believe it was going to be very antiseptic. Everybody was going to welcome us with open arms and with flowers and with a smile on their face. Let me tell you, they don't trust us. They don't trust the British. They don't trust the Americans. And you'll notice that when the first supplies came into Basra, the supply trucks, and at first they were carrying the pictures of Saddam and they were shouting obscenities at the Allied troops, at the British. And then, of course, they ran under to grab the water and whatever food they could get. They'll take whatever because they're trying to stay alive. See, that's what it's all about. We should play the Bee Gees, staying alive.
Like hungry, thirsty children.
Desperate to stay alive. But that doesn't mean that they like us, and they sure as hell don't want us there. They've been through this before. And by the way, aren't we doing a wonderful job in Afghanistan, where more and more innocent troops are dying every day? Aren't we doing a beautiful job there? See, this is the history of this country. We never finish anywhere. Did we finish in Korea?
No.
Oh, that's why we got the problem in North Korea, maybe, huh? Did we ever finish there? No. Did we finish in Afghanistan the first time?
No.
No. And in the meantime, some of the real worst evildoers, like the Pakistani government, who came in power with a coup by a military general, their illegitimate government, and the Saudis, the House of Saud, the good business partners of the Bush family. These are some of the worst evildoers. We're not saying nothing about them. They're not on the list. Maybe someday after we take care of Syria and Iran, and then North Korea, maybe we'll get around to them. Reminds me kind of like the Hyman Roth Michael Corleone coalition. Same thing. Who's going to get who first? Here's a call from Naples. Hello.
Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think you're doing an amazing job. This is the first time I've actually heard your show, believe it or not. I'm from Los Angeles originally. And we get a lot of stuff out there, a lot of great stuff, with Web Active. I listen to stuff on it's just like a radio, and we get, really good stuff. But this is fantastic to hear on the radio, and I'm flabbergasted. I'm finding it in Florida. And I'm hoping that the people are actually, running around your broadcast because, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic to hear it, and I would love to hear, more of the stuff. And I can tell you some websites that would be great. Have you heard of Dave Emery?
No.
David Emery, he's great website. Go to spitfirelist.org or Spitfire List, SPITFIRE LIST.org, and this guy lays out the Bush family and all the connection with that, all the way going back to Prescott Bush and his affiliation with the Nazis,
right.
and then all the way through till now, and it's brilliant. Some brilliant stuff on there, all streamed and laid out with amazing references and research. Some great stuff.
Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, so I think it's great. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and I'd love to hear more of this descent, and it's good. Way to go.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
Say hi to that self-hating faggot Alice Rantel, by the way, when you go back to L.A. 5670560. The thing with Phil...
Are you sure?
...is just mind-boggling to me. But then again, if it's good enough for Howard Sperm, it must be good enough for Phil, huh? Everybody just goose-step into line. We'll write out the script.
You understand the Gestapo keeps track of everyone.
Exactly.
You might mention my name to Vice Marshal Goering.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Every time I see one of those big protest marches, and they have the big posters with the picture of Bush and the Hitler mustache and the hair over the head, and I think, right on, baby. Now you're catching on. I guess I was the first one to start calling them Nazis and fascists a long time ago because a lot of other people were a little slow on the uptake. Or maybe because they felt it wasn't the appropriate decorum to use that kind of language. Well, when the future of the whole goddamn planet is at stake, I say screw decorum. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How are you?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Hey, did you hear about Geraldo?
I just saw his puss on there a second ago, but I didn't listen to the audio. What was that?
The military kicked him out of Iraq for revealing operational details about future military plans. I guess the unit he was with.
Good.
He's gone.
Good. When did Doc kick his ass out?
I just thought you'd like to hear that.
Okay, thanks for the good news. Okay, I guess Geraldo can't be over there to exploit that situation anymore. Good. In fact, I'll tell you what, since he's leaving, put Peter Arnett back in. Well, Peter Arnett's still there, I guess.
Right. Talking to whoever, I guess.
Just got a megaphone. He's out there in a street corner. Anybody listening?
We'll report for food.
Oh. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 442 votes on our poll. Which of these best describes South Florida? Banana Republic 145, Intellectual Wasteland 69.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Land of Crooks and Schnooks 56, Land of Sun and Fun 46, Outdoor Funeral Parlor 40, Haven for Rubber Rafters 38, Maggot Magnet 31, and Paradise only 17. Paradise ain't doing too good, Mo. Don't forget, by the way, the Mo Curley and Larry special on the Three Stooges is at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Did I Schmidt can that? I guess I tossed it out. Now, what is it on?
I don't know. I forgot.
8 o'clock. I think 8 o'clock tomorrow night on NBC. So it must be something. Here's a call from Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil, 2 points.
Yes, sir.
One is it was excellent to hear a veteran, Jesse Ventura, when he made his statement on MSNBC the other night that the soldiers need to understand that we've learned our lesson in Vietnam, that these protests are not against the troops, that they are against the war themselves,
right. That's right.
And that they understand that. And his wonderful words were, this is nothing more than a result of failed political policies. So without saying it, he knows that Bush is a failure.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing I need to point out is, finally, it was good to see that Colonel Hackworth has moved from the Fox propaganda channel over to CNN and gave his very dissenting opinion on what is going on, that he sees it exactly the way you do.
I saw that this morning, as a matter of fact.
Vietnam all over again.
I guess they must have kicked his ass out of Fox. Rupert Murdoch don't want no part of that.
Well, because I think also even Hackworth figured out that Fox is not interested in the truth, but interested in the party line.
You got it.
Have a good day.
Thanks for the good news. Yeah, I saw some of that this morning, as a matter of fact. Colonel Hackworth, who was pissed off and foaming at the mouth. Nice going, Colonel. 26 past 11 at 560 WQAM. We got the Mad Dog from the ballpark this afternoon, 1 o'clock from PP Park. Well, we better play that, hadn't we? PP Park.
We should.
Since today is opening day. Everybody's going to go over there and take like a little pee-pee in the infield. Got my Marlon Maraca here. God. This makes you feel so fey. Huh? Well,
No, it's a macho maraca.
Oh, it is not. It's a faggy maraca. Get it away from me. No, I noticed Beaner Boy was shaking it. And the maraca, too. 27 past 11 at 560 WQM. If you're shaken from looking at your carpets and they look really schmutzy, man, probably because they are. There's probably dirt in there from before Edison was a baby. Well, if you want to get your carpets looking just like brand new, if you don't want to have to go out and spend thousands of dollars for new carpeting, here's the answer for you, called the Miracle Workers at Dry Concepts. I've been using them in my house for way over 20 years now. And these are the only people in the world who dry clean your carpets. It's an exclusive patented method. When they get done, your carpets look and smell lemony fresh. You got a big smile on your puss. They dry in a couple of hours, and you'll be amazed at how they do look and feel and smell, just like brand new. And no rip-offs when you call Dry Concepts. They give you a written, guaranteed price before they start doing the job. So don't forget, when it's time to clean those carpets, upholstery, leather furniture, your expensive area rugs, whatever it might be, these are the people that do it for you. And if you have problems with pet odors and mildew odors, Dry Concepts can wave their little magic wand and make them look and smell and feel just like brand new. Do yourself a big favor. Call these folks once. You'll never dream of using anybody else again. Call toll-free 1-800-248-5071. 1-800-248-5071. Log on to their website if you like at dryconcepts.com. Don't forget, with Dry Concepts, clean today, you can entertain tonight.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
There's a butt. I smell it.
Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. Iraq's a crappy little country. Smells like the mustache on his face. Just get rid of that. You're a drinking chubby and blow up the whole goddamn place. Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. 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 Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker.
11:30 at 560 WQAM. Let's wave the flag, baby, or at least wave some pom-poms out there at the Marlin game this afternoon. Marlins and the Phillies. I love when that thing is testing and the dial tone goes off and all sorts of fireworks start shooting off in the air back there. I love it. That's it. George is in there waving that flag. This is a pretty good article by Bill Davis. CommonDreams.org, one of my very favorite websites. Support our protesters. I'm not going to read that, though, yet. Don't let me forget the Jimmy Breslin column. Didn't I print that out? To use it again? What the hell did I do with that, George? Oh, there it is. Blood Remains on the Hands by Jimmy Breslin. Here's a call from Boca. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I wondered if you had seen the article in this week's New Yorker. 3 articles, one by Seymour Hersh.
I just talked about Seymour Hersh's article a minute ago.
Did you read the other one, Lehman's? How
No.
it came to war?
No.
And also there's the bombing of Baghdad. There are 3 most illuminating articles which totally agree with what you have been saying, and I don't understand why people don't read these things.
I'll go out and pick up the New Yorker this afternoon.
By the way, what
Yes,
happened to Osama? Wasn't he dead or alive or something like that?
He's hanging out with Saddam right now, I guess.
Oh, well, that make a wonderful combination.
Exactly. A match made in heaven. Okay, thanks for the good news. I'll go get New Yorker this afternoon. Thanks.
Okie doke.
5670560. The fax machine's working out, George.
Oh!
About time.
Who would do such a thing? For a fax machine?
What's the point? We got a bunch of, like I said, middle-level management people here who are too busy trolling the goddamn parking lot looking for assholes smoking a joint, who are busy bending over every time the beast comes down the hall,
Rectum.
Stuff like that, as opposed to, doing anything for us in here, keeping these idiots out of the studio. Oh, can't wait to get back till Toronto. After the last SARS case leaves town. I guess I got back here just in time. You can't escape it, baby. Whether it's the war, whether it's SARS, whatever the hell it is. There's no place to hide under the bed. So get off your knees, Clarence.
I'm dying over here.
Let's see, we can use science to create bugs, but no stem cell research to save lives. No birth control methods to prevent abortion. There's no money for any kind of nationalized health care, but there's money for this, Schmidt. It said the madness here is beyond imagination. And the article from Newsday, from Saturday, scientists warn on Bush bioweapons push. A Bush administration program to add at least 3 bioweapons labs is troubling many scientists and arms control experts who say it can't be good to train more microbiologists in the black art of bioterror. The field is suddenly awash with billions of dollars to combat bioterrorism, and much more is promised under President Bush's Project BioShield plan. The money will fund a building boom of at least 3 new airtight laboratories where scientists in spacesuits handle the world's deadliest diseases. At least 6 universities and the New York State Department of Health are competing for contracts to build one of the 2 labs where scientists can infect research monkeys and other animals with such lethal agents as the Ebola, Marburg, and Lassa viruses. These African hemorrhagic diseases are often fatal and always painful, marked by severe bleeding. They'll also likely create a new class of toxins, including genetically engineered ones, as part of the process of constructing weapons they want to defeat. Developing antidotes or vaccines for these toxins might take years. It is perversely increasing the risk of exposure, said Richard Ebright, a Rutgers University chemist professor and bioweapons expert who believes one additional lab is all that's needed. Ebright and others believe labs managed by universities can prove less secure than government facilities, which have had their own security lapses as it is. How do you like that? Bioweapons research, baby.
By your own.
Oh yeah, depleted uranium. We got a story on our website about that today. Metal dishonor. The Gulf War syndrome, underestimated dangers from low-level radiation. We talked about that earlier. So what's going to happen if the depleted uranium, which is illegal, of course, which we're using in our weapons, if that doesn't get them, then the toxins from the fires will get them, and if that don't get them, the toxins from the oil, the burning oil fires, that'll get them.
Not to mention the starvation and the drought.
Shut up.
Cholera they're going to get.
Quit.
Drinking that river water.
Stop. They're coming to get your ass. Let's see. I've been a big fan since the days of Zeta when I lived in paradise, it says. From Fountain Inn, South Carolina, Paul. I'm neither Republican nor Democrat, but an issue-by-issue analyst. Bullet point comments. Carbon-based life forms, such as modern-day Homo sapiens, have been killing and brutalizing each other for tens of millions of years. We are unfortunately technologically advanced to where we can blow our planet up instantaneously many times over, which, given the fact that nuclear technology is going on 60 years old, is inevitable. If we do nothing preemptively about the likes of Saddam Hussein, another one of those pesky 9/11 situation happens only times 10 or 100, or 1,000, you'll be the first one asking, how did it happen? How many times do we need to be victims of terror? And let me say it again, by the way, since Paul in South Carolina evidently is very selective in what he hears and reads. They just rounded up 5,000 Iraqis to be interviewed in the United States, like I said on Friday. They found, you know how many they found? Who were here in violation of their visas?
About 30, man.
Exactly 30. Did they find any connected with terrorism?
No.
Zero. So don't give me a lecture, Paul, about Saddam Hussein. Also, now that the bloom is off the rose for you with Amsterdam, you should consider a remote from Iraq or any of the 22-country dictatorial League of Arab Nations. I bet an outspoken gay Jewish person will be welcomed with open arms. Whatever the hell that means. A little sarcasm there from Paul in South Carolina. Says, sorry to confuse you with the facts. I don't see any facts in here, okay? Other than the Jew fag comment, I don't see any facts. You see any facts in here? No. Just more again, you don't agree, you don't want to goose step in line, so let's attack. Let's do the attack. Let's see how long you'll be on the air over there. I say, let's see how long I'll be on the air over here. Yeah. That's right. Far to the right. Oh yeah, well this Halliburton thing, we had this on the website the other day about the one contract Halliburton lost, but that has nothing to do with the $1 billion one. That's a separate one, okay? Sorry, nice try, but you lose. Wally and Deerfield faxes, support our troops. That's a major dilemma for me. I screamed for all I was worth before the invasion as if I could change destiny. Now I'm supposed to reverse my opinion, support the volunteer armed forces. I don't want anyone to die for the global corporation bastards who orchestrate this fiasco. Let me get this straight. If I toe the company line, I will cheer for the total American armed forces success, which will result in the slaughter of countless civilians and resistant fighters. Thanks for the guilt trip. You are
absolutely Absolutely correct, sir.
P.S. The greatest marketing campaign in history has to be the one perpetrated by this administration and the Defense Department, who convinced America that a career in the all-volunteer armed forces has no consequences. Vietnam ended the draft, so a different mindset was created. What a waste of genius, says Wally in Deerfield, who again is...
Absolutely correct, sir.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Good. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I think it's pathetic, to be honest with you. Let me just go over a few points.
You think what's pathetic?
Let me go over a few points.
No, wait a minute. You think what's pathetic?
Well, first of all, the stance that against this war, choosing Bush, I feel the anger from you still arising from the election. But let me tell you this. This isn't similar to Vietnam. Vietnam, we couldn't tell who the enemy and who the friendly fire was.
And you know something's wrong. Well, no, wait a minute, sir. Wait a moment. If you want to have a conversation, your very first point you lose already, because already in the first days of this war, especially around Basra, that was one of the reasons that a lot of our troops got killed, is because they couldn't tell the civilians from the soldiers. We had soldiers dressed up as civilians. It's exactly the same as Vietnam. And they came on here and they said it's hard to tell the good guys from the bad guys.
All right, let me reply to that.
So point number one, there's nothing to reply to, sir, because you're wrong.
That these people that we can't tell the difference, they have guns to their head. They have to fight or their families and them will be killed. Vietnam was totally voluntary.
Sir, let me ask you this. What difference does it make? Isn't the end result the same?
Once Saddam Hussein is taken out, then the people will
Sir, let me say it again. Isn't the end result the same?
No, because there's an individual in a regime we're after.
In addition to which, you're presuming that once Saddam Hussein is out, that these people will suddenly cotton to us. It's not happening, and it's not going to happen.
And you're presuming they will not.
No, I'm not presuming it. I'm listening to what's being said.
No, well, we know because Saddam Hussein's in control right now.
What was his name again? Qusam Hussein? Get out of here, you idiot. Qusam Hussein. They're going to welcome us with open arms. They hate us like poison. And every day, how would you like to be sitting wherever the hell your comfortable ass is, sir? And every day feel the bombs bursting in air. Like you're having earthquakes around you every goddamn day. And knowing that the supply of food is limited and the supply of water, the water's probably going to be unfit to drink. And that your kids are having their lungs destroyed and polluted and becoming asthmatic. How would you like that? And I tell you, I'm here to liberate you, man. I'm here to free you. Don't you love me?
Every Iraqi border, thousands of supporters are pouring in to join the resistance.
All angry and they're all hostile and they're all pointing. He can't believe this crap that he's hearing. Well, guess what, sir? I'm expressing my goddamn opinion, okay? If you don't like it in 20 minutes, your right-wing hero will be on. Feeding bullcrap, making up stuff as he goes along. You just be another mindless ditto head. There are millions of them out there. And isn't it ironic that he starts his argument with a self-defeating argument about in Vietnam we couldn't tell the good guys from the bad guys. We just got through with a whole episode of that. That's what they're screaming about. And like the CIA told them, we knew this going in. We knew it going in. There was no question about it. There's no surprises here.
And it's not soldiers dressed up as civilians. It's civilians with guns, because they all have them over there.
Both.
Fighting on their own right.
Both.
Yeah.
Civilians who hate us like poison. Who are trying to get a tactical advantage. I'm not even going to waste my time, you know. Mindless people like him who refuse to actually, even if you listen to your propaganda news, they're on MSNBC and CNN, and maybe even Fox, although I doubt it. There's enough actual news coming through that you'd know what the hell was going on, but you don't. The 2000 election, the stealing of that was only what opened the door for this kind of crap. Gave them the opportunity to carry on with their imperialistic goals.
No, that's why you're pissed.
OILMONEY. How many years ago did I tell you that? OILMONEY. And POWER. 96, thank you. Right down the hall. 18 till noon at 560 WQM. If you don't want to order a mattress over the bed because you figure it's a big purchase, you want to see it first, have no fear. Take it from me. When you do business with our friends at Dollar Mattress, you're not going to get any seconds, any off-brands. They've got only the best mattresses in the universe. They got Sealy and Serta, Simmons, King Coil, every size and style. They're ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. And Dollar Mattress has got more repeat and referral customers than anybody else because they know how to treat you right. Once you buy from Dollar Mattress, you'll never go back to that old-fashioned, stupid way of shopping those showrooms again, where you have to run around and waste gas, go all over town, comparison shop. You can't beat the low everyday prices at Dollar Mattress either. And don't forget, when you buy your mattress from Dollar Mattress, they set up the brand new one, take away the crappy old bedding for free. You heard me right. Dollar Mattress sets up the new and takes away the old for free. So make the call right now. Enjoy a great night's sleep for weeks and months and years to come. Call 1-800-MATTRESS. 1-800-MATTRES for Dollar Mattress. The easiest, the smartest possible way to buy you a great new name brand bed.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Wow is right. What the hell was that all about?
I would check the schmutz factor on that disc.
What do you mean by that? Well, somebody must have been dicking with it then, because I played it when he
Right.
brought it in last week.
Right.
I'm
fax machine reset.
Everything in here, man, is screwed up. Thanks a lot, Duff and Clarence. You're doing a hell of a job in protecting our important studio here, most of which the equipment I bought out of my own goddamn pocket. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a lock. I'm going to get my own lock and put it on this door. What are you smiling about? I'm not going to put up with this crap. Every stinking Monday morning, it's all. I mean, like I said, this is WQAM, where we are radio-ish. Any comparison between us and a real radio station is only coincidental, okay? Let's see if this cues up. Somebody munged on it, you know? Yeah, that too. Now, that ain't gonna cut it.
Hey, Brian, we need a new CD.
Well, maybe not. Let me give it one more quick schmear here. A lick and a schmear. Yeah, I'm smearing it. This is a freaking radio. Yeah, isn't it amazing? I'm in Toronto in that nice little studio. I have none of these problems. The CD players work great. Nobody comes in over the weekend and dicks around with my stuff. At least not with the equipment. I mean, what are we talking about here, Muff? What? And you can't get any cooperation from these goddamn people? Nothing. They just move like that, you know, and Duff goes and swallows a couple of more pills. Clarence goes back and crawls, in that prone position waiting for the beast to show up again. Seriously, I have never seen that man smile so broadly since he had that encounter with the beast up against the wall. He is like a pig in Schmidt. There you go. I think I got it. I wiped it clean, baby.
Rectum.
That too.
We'll meet again if we don't wind up dead from the Bush cartel that left us all this way.
I think it's a right-wing conspiracy, if you ask me.
We've all been duped, blind support was our doom, as the bombs dropped from the stars from far away. Maybe we should have paid attention a little bit more to the facts we chose to ignore. The price of gas has declined, but I'm afraid that the line won't be very long. We'll meet again with a hope that by then civil rights will be restored one sunny day.
All right.
We'll meet again if we don't wind up there from the Bush cartel that left us all this way.
I can't let that go. I gotta work. Don't we have one of those CD cleaning things in here?
Who's we?
WQAM, your inept station. Something to smear on this, man. I'll have to play it later. We got an important goddamn radio show going on here, and I think that the right-wingers have come in. Probably Joe Costello. No, seriously, how the hell can this happen all by osmosis, by itself? Everything in here today is screwed up. I think it's a goddamn conspiracy. Make no mistake about it. I bet you Condoleezza was in here. Yeah, over the weekend. She and her lackeys, her imperialistic lackeys were in here over the weekend, dicking with our stuff, trying to sabotage this once great radio show on a marginal radio station with a crappy signal. Eddie Jones, by the way, you're still a putz with no balls. Over at the Dolphin organization. What a joke. What a joke. We've got balls. They were blowing the whole goddamn world up. We got soldiers over there, young people in the prime of their lives, people losing their husbands and friends and wives and brothers and so whatever. Little babies being blown up by una bomba grande. And Eddie Jones, he's worried about a billboard that says we've got balls because he's a simpering clown, okay? That's the answer to the question Joe Rose keeps asking, that thing about how come. Let's see, here's a fact, pretty interesting. It says the Phil Hendrie Show is dead.
Are you sure?
One of the most brilliant satirists, the mind behind some of the funniest radio in the history of the medium, How wife make wife lose weight, All You Can Eat Negro, Margaret, Bob Green, Larry King, I Will Not Give It to You, etc., has sold out and become a company man. No more characters, no more irony, no humor. Are you serious? He's not even doing the characters? What?
Carlos says he is.
Oh. It's a pathetic end for such a great talent, draft-dodging hypocrite. It's okay for these kids to die, but his life was too valuable 30 years ago, says this anonymous faxer. I've canceled my subscription to his website.
All right.
What a waste. You're the only one left. F this war and the butchers in the military-industrial complex who support them. Eisenhower was right, and you're right. There are much more subtle and subversive, Mission Impossible ways to overthrow the Iraq dictator, but it would be a lot cheaper, efficient, and wouldn't use all that fancy military hardware, planes, tanks, guns, bullets, jeeps, and radios. And, of course, then we wouldn't have to have our friends like Halliburton go over there and rebuild it after we destroy it. See, that's part of the game plan. Not just the oil itself, but the rebuilding process that's going to require all of these things. And then, of course, the catering company, that thing about the Stevedore Company,
right,
which happens to be a big contributor to El Presidente. Maybe they're driving around with those little trucks, you know, like they do at the construction sites.
The roach coaches?
Yeah, the roach coach. Ought to be easy to find roach, although I think the roaches all moved out. I think they went to Jordan. And you know what they say, don't be having no roaches in those coaches, man. That's what Muff says to Anthony and Vlad. No roach in the coach. You guys are fired. Let's have a meeting. I'm going to call you in on the carpet. See, you can browbeat the punks like that. Poor little bastards like that. Tom faxes says, Bush stated we're going to stay in Iraq until we win, and nobody asked win what. Good question, Tom. Anybody know the answer?
No.
OILMONEYPOWER. Irving says, Dear Neil, thank goodness for you, sir. The fact that innocent people, Iraqis and Allied soldiers, are dead and maimed seems to be of little consequence to our military leaders and our cheerleading reporters, embedded or otherwise. I wouldn't call them journalists, which would connote professionalism. The fact that we're the aggressors in an illegal war against a sovereign country seems to be lost on these people. I can't believe that there isn't one journalist who would ask in all these briefings, since we haven't found any weapons of mass destruction in Iraqi hands, why are the Allied forces using these weapons of mass destruction to kill Iraqi people? Yeah, I mentioned that last week. Talk about irony. They're supposed to be dangerous because they're hiding weapons of mass destruction, and here we're hitting them with the greatest assault of aerial bombardment in the history of the freaking human race. It says, I've been around for some time, have yet to be pulled. Of course, I'm a Democrat. I have the opportunity to come in contact with all kinds of people, and have yet to find anybody who's been pulled. Well, Clarence was pulled right up against the wall. I might add that most of the people I pull are against this murdering, unnecessary war being directed by our president and his puppeteers. Thank you, Irving. God bless America, baby, for what it used to be. Yeah, gee, in Vietnam. First of all, that punk that called before about Vietnam, he wasn't even born when Vietnam was going on. Vietnam ended in 1975, 28 years ago. He wouldn't know Vietnam if they stuck the map up his ass, okay? If Gerald Ford stuck it up his ass in the map, too. Punks. Calvin faxes and says, just let me preface my comments that saying I'm a Vietnam veteran, and in the late 70s, early 80s, I worked as a photojournalist for UPI, covering Beirut and 2 wars in Africa. I've seen war from both ends of a rifle, so I think I know pretty much what war is all about, which is a lot more than most people in this administration, excluding our dear Secretary of State. Incidentally, I was in the same division that Powell was in back in Nam. Let me remind those people who think that good old Colin is Mr. Honesty. He was the officer who drew up the military report following the My Lai massacre, saying that it didn't happen. My first comment has to do with something a right-wing talk show host said on 610 Saturday morning. A right-wing talk show host on a Clear Channel station, how unusual. With echoes of General LeMay, he said we should just send B-52s over to Baghdad and carpet bomb it from one end to the other. The fact that women and children lived there didn't seem to matter. Making it worse was hearing at least 4 or 5 callers calling and agreeing with him. My last comment is about General Franks. Is it me, or is this guy starting to look and sound like General Westmoreland? Maybe he's channeling him or something. Maybe Jonathan Edwards is doing something there, huh? One more thing, that I see George on TV down at the rally in Little Havana this weekend. Ask him. I think I saw him standing next to Roseanne Ileana Dana and Diaz Blowhart. Thank you, Calvin. Other facts. Boy, the faxes are pouring in now that the fax machine works. Was screwed up over the weekend, Muff, among every other thing in this goddamn studio. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to raise ruckus in this goddamn place now that I'm back for a couple of weeks or a few weeks.
While you're at it.
Yes, what
Gilbert
else?
Keeps calling.
Does he really?
Sure. Saying
Gilbert Solomon? Do we have his number?
Yeah.
And? How come
it's a fax number.
Yeah. Well, can't you jam it?
No.
What do you mean by that?
He does the thing.
He does what thing?
The thing. I could tell you on the air, then everyone would know how to do it.
Okay. Neil, why do the Pussy Dolphins have a 6-hour pregame show and the Marlins get 20 minutes for opening day? I want to talk hardballs with the Crow, it says, after your show, of course. There's a good fax for you. Ask our programming department about things like that. We got nothing to do with any of that. There's our man. The Crow. Anybody seen a crow?
No.
No, but we smelt him. 5, 6, 7. Who else was it that smelled like that? Somebody, was it somebody in here this morning? Smelled like, oh, it's him. It's Beaner Boy.
I thought you were talking about Todd earlier.
No, I'm talking about Beaner Boy. He like,
oh, it's because
he fills up the sink with Old Spice, then he washes his balls in there in the Old Spice. Man, talk about spicy balls. Oh, that's right. We can't say balls on the air. I'm so sorry, Eddie Jones. I'm so sorry, Donna Shalala. Maybe she's busy waxing her shillelagh. 567-0560, pound 56. Get those numbers.
567-08560.
Even he's laughing at it. Even he realizes what a dunderhead he is.
567-08560.
Wow. Yeah, our middle-level programming in this place needs a real shake-up, I'll tell you that. We're going to bring Moses in and let him take care of it. 504 votes on a poll. Which of these best describes South Florida, ladies and gentlemen? Banana Republic, 168. Oh! Intellectual Wasteland, 77. Land of Crooks and Schnooks, 64. Land of Sun and Fun, 50, I'm sorry. Outdoor Funeral Parlor, 47. Haven for Rubber Rafters, 45. Maggot Magnet, 34. And Paradise has only got 19. I keep hearing it's Paradise. Don't you keep hearing that? And I guess, like I said, if you're over the age of 75, and you got like checkered pants and lime green pants and play a lot of golf and have your varicose veins hanging out, and you keep saying it's Paradise.
I can't stop.
Do you have $2,000 or more on a credit card? Well, then listen, please. Dedicated Consumer Counseling will help you out. It'll cost you nothing. That's right. It'll cost you nothing. Dedicated is a non-profit company that'll contact the companies you owe money to, and they'll cut your payments in half. Call 1-800-4-NO-DEBT. That's 1-800, the number 4 and the letters NODEBT. Dedicated will help you cut your interest rate, eliminate late fees, and save your credit. It'll cost you nothing. The bank pays Dedicated, and you pay nothing. So if you're tired of battling credit card debt, call Dedicated at 1-800-4-NO-DEBT. Call and find out how Dedicated can help you. You got nothing to lose. If you've had it with credit card debt with high interest rates and late fees, call Dedicated Consumer Counseling, and they'll handle it for you. From there, they'll do it. Call right now, toll free, 1-800-4-NO-DEBT. That's 1-800-4-NO-DEBT, and don't forget, it costs you nothing.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This used to be Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott, and I'm inviting all my nigger friends down in Miami to listen to my favorite Jew, Neil Rogers, and the 12 to 1 hour.
Administrations to be respected.
Administrations to be respected.
Very good. You may continue.
Gestapo keeps track of everyone.
12:03 at 560 WQAM. We're just 57 minutes away from the Mad Dog, who's doing his game out from PP Park. I still haven't played PP Park. Don't let me forget. On Marlins opening day, we got to do that. Oh, Gilbert Solomon's number is 305-386-8040, who is continuing to call with the pornographic phone calls, obscenities. That's his number or his fax?
That's the fax number that he's using to call us.
I see. 305-386-8040. The reason I give that out is somebody wants to freak Gilbert, and evidently he's lonely and wants some action.
Well, evidently.
305-386-8040. And the fact that, that this radio station refused to do anything to cooperate with us, it's typical of what goes on in the studio. It's the same thing. They give you nothing.
What's it got to do with sports?
And you want to know why? Because they're all scared of their own shadow. They're all flying not only under the radar, but their ass is almost hitting the ground. They're flying so low. Follow? To stay under that radar. Muff, Clarence, etc. Anybody seen Greg?
No.
No, he's busy. He's got a date with Barry Jackass today, I believe. Ain't they dating? They're brown bagging it for lunch today? Ex-Kentucky priest pleads guilty to sex abuse. How do you like that? More of this stuff.
There's no fact in the church.
A retired Roman Catholic priest accused of abuse by dozens of plaintiffs pleaded guilty Monday to multiple counts of sexual misconduct as his jury trial was scheduled to begin. The Reverend Lewis E. Miller, we've had many stories about this scumbag, 72 of Louisville, pleaded guilty in Jefferson County Circuit Court to 50 counts of indecent and immoral practices and sexual abuse. The charges against Miller involve 21 victims, according to court documents. He faces trial on similar charges in neighboring Oldham County in June. In other words, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Miller retired from public ministry last year when accusations of abuse became public. Miller is accused of abuse in more than 80 lawsuits filed against the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Louisville, which employed the priest for more than 30 years. The plaintiffs, all now adults, claim they were abused by Miller as children. They say the church was well aware of the abuse but did nothing to stop it. The Archdiocese is facing a total of more than 200 lawsuits filed last year. That's just in Louisville. How do you like that? Let's hear it.
All right.
Well, the Catholic Church who really cleaned up their act, didn't they?
No.
Oh, sorry, Dennis. Don't want to get you all upset. Another emotional cripple who can't handle the truth. What is this? I'm very happy that you cannot play the Condoleezza. Oh, that's great. Okay, I'm very happy that you're happy. Okay, that's good. On an upside-down fax from somebody with an IQ about a 2.5. I give more credit than that. You know what I think the IQ is of somebody that sends something like that?
About 30, man.
Here's a fax from Carl, who says, I'm a Vietnam vet who served 26 months in this country. I was in Vietnam. I was an interpreter and worked for naval intelligence for a short time, and there's nothing about Bush's invasion that warrants anything but incredulity. Just say, no, says Carl. How do you like that? Nice going, Carl. Then here's all the stuff about Cheap Channel. I think we already did enough about them, didn't we? War puts radio on the defensive. Yeah, well, can never do too much. Maybe we'll save this. Thank you anyway, Dan. Is it Dan or Dean? Dan. Thank you, Dan. 522 votes on the poll. A staggering response on here, George, if I say so myself.
Good.
Which of these best describes South Florida? Banana Republic, 175. Intellectual Wasteland, 78. Land of Crooks and Schnooks, 70. Land of Sun and Fun, 50. Outdoor Funeral Parlor, 47. Home for Rubber Rafters, 46. Maggot Magnet, 35. And Paradise, 21. Here's a call from Kendall. Hello.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Uncle Dale? I haven't called you in quite a while. I was laughing when that kid was talking about Vietnam. The closest I can come to comparing this war to anything is when Mussolini invaded Ethiopia, and those poor dumb schlubs had to take it until Mussolini used gas on them to win. So that's about the same situation here. I was laughing yesterday. I know you were watching it too. Meet the Press with General Myers doing everything.
No, I wasn't watching it. No way. I've got enough propaganda.
Yeah, that's it. I've given up on these stupid reports from the front and all that because it's all propaganda. When that General Brooks
everything's
comes out,
coming up roses.
Yeah, when General Brooks comes out, it's like what a load of crap.
Yeah.
So I'm just so sick of it.
Just remember, sir, nothing bad happens to the Allied because we have God on our side.
Yeah. And the poor British, they're getting killed more by U.S. bullets and plane crashes and helicopter crashes than they are by Iraqi bullets.
Yep.
So, there was an article. I don't know who it's because I didn't find out who it's attributed to, but it was a legit article about the news coverage on television, and they had a comment about Fox News, and they said It was enough to scare the teeth right out of Ann Coulter's vagina.
Wow.
When I saw that, I was on the floor. I was on the floor.
I think they got their thumb on it.
And one of the guys on our news group, because we're a bunch of military historians and stuff like that who have been arguing this left, right, and center, he's been putting up these little post-its by Halliburton saying, Halliburton thanks you for your death in the name of democracy, of course, which boosts our profits. So I figure that's exactly what the war is. Right?
Excellent. Okay, have a great time, pal.
Take care,
Thanks.
Uncle Neil. Bye.
Let's see. Here's Tim in Peckerwood Pines. Let's see what kind of sarcastic crap. Do you know if George W. was going to torture me if I didn't show up on Marlins opening day? I want another country to come and help me? What? If Martin Sheen ran for president and George for his vice president, do you know how many Americans would vote for? Oh, I see. Tim is doing a shtick here on the thing here. Timmy in Peckerwood Pines. The reason we're dying over there, he says, is because the soldiers are trying to be decent and help these people, and we do help these rotten, nasty, hateful Iraqi people. They kill us. I guess we should just flatten the place and everybody in instead of trying to help them. Yeah, we're here to help you, by the way. Yeah. Wow. Timmy, get yourself some help. In fact, maybe you could go out there in a parking lot and smoke a big fat one with Anthony and Vlad if Muff ain't looking. Oh, yeah, that Muff, she gets all bent out of shit. She starts getting all that feeling of power, you know. Oh, I caught them, oh. Yeah, starts getting all swelled up, you know what I mean? Maybe that's why his back is hurting him so much. Or it might be something else.
Rectum.
10 past noon at 560 WQAM. Let me tell you right now, how about to lose some of that fat, not just this fat ugly, believe me. Do I know? Am I fat and ugly or what?
Yeah.
Well, shut up. But the fact of the matter is it's unhealthy. That's the most important part. Even if you don't care how you look. It's grotesque. It's bad for your, everything. Diabetes and high blood pressure and strokes and a heart attack and all of these things. One of the best ways to lose weight, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is Balance for Life. And the reason is because a lot of people have tried all the others. They've tried, you name it, and they've done it. Balance for Life is something completely different because they provide the food for you. You don't have to do any measuring, no shopping, no cleaning, no calorie counting, no carbohydrate counting. It's all based on the Zone diet, which is very effective, but very complicated. They take the complicating part out. They put together fantastic, delicious, fresh meals. They give you 2 choices for each meal every day that you're on the program, and they deliver all your food to you every day in a little black sack. All your food for the day is in your sack. Can we say sack on the air still? I mean, we can't say balls. Huh? It's in your black container.
Don't say box either.
Your little container. 3 gourmet meals, 2 delicious snacks are in your container. And of course everything is cooked fresh. They have nothing but the finest ingredients, no preservatives, no chemicals, nothing frozen. And the weight just pours off your body. There's plenty of food to keep you full all day long, and you won't go hungry on a Balance for Life program. So if you want to do like the beast who's lost damn near 60 pounds, I'm going to tell you right now, this coming Friday, and I hope he's listening right now. In fact, we'll let him do clearance a couple of more times. That'll burn off some calories. This coming Friday, he better be down a couple of more pounds, or we're going to bring Mo in here and let him turn the tables on him. So if you want to lose the weight, do it with Balance for Life. Call 954-568-3229, the natural, delicious way to lose it. 954-568-3229, or check out their prestigious website if you like at balanceforlife.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
This is your Fox Nazi News Update with Hans Gruber.
Good evening. The White House announced today that the center stations are now open to all registered Democrats to be processed for appropriate work camp assignments. This has been approved by the Pfizer court with the understanding that many Democrats are Jews and are bred like rats. Another victory for President Bush in his war against terrorism. Heil Bush. In another decision to rubber stamp new laws by order of Reich Marshal Ashcroft, the Supreme Court ruled today that all home computers not directly linked to the Department of Information will be confiscated. Dancing or listening to other than approved state marches will no longer be tolerated. Violators will be facing similar charges as those of accused protesters facing work camp imprisonment. Women with a breast size of A cup or larger must be mastectomized. All breasts must be removed. Additionally, any woman even mentioning abortion will be beaten with a wire hanger and forced to stand outside for a week. Another victory for President Bush in his war against terrorism. Heil Bush. Our glorious President Bush will be attending the ceremonial burning of the U.S. Constitution and will be signing the Eli Lilly security bill into law as soon as the White House is rebuilt after last month's devastating Al-Qaeda attack. Another victory sympathy for President Bush in his war against terrorism.
This has been a Fox Nazi News update. Fox Nazi News. Stay comfortable and leave the thinking to us.
12:15 at 560 WQAM. Remember I mentioned about little Jerry with the squiggly writing. Now his new deal is, gotcha, Jerry. Now he's typing. But even his typing has like a, it all looks the same.
Yeah.
It's all got that signature. Like that.
A flavor.
We got you, Jerry. They're all going in the circular file, idiot. You're an idiot, Jerry. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Peter faxes and says, last week you were reading an excerpt from Michael Moore's book describing Dick Cheney's role. Yeah, we know the Halliburton stuff, Peter. Our government continues feeding us the Hussein is evil front and throwing out little business deals on the side.
Absolutely correct, sir.
By the way, have they found the weapons of mass destruction yet?
No.
Please let us know as soon as they do. Thanks for keeping us well informed. Thank you, Peter. No, they found these chemical factories, though, and they found all of those suits, and they found that atropine, and they found this. Did they find any weapons yet?
No.
Not that any of us are suspicious that if they do find anything that we don't know where they came from.
They'll find whatever they want to find.
Very well said, George. George had two great slogans. He said, first of all, they're rattling the hornet's nest. That was way back when. And now he says they'll find what they want to find, which he wishes he could do. 5670560.
That convention that just ended.
Yeah. Pound 560 on the AT&T Verizon wireless line. West Palm Beach, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Did you see 60 Minutes? You talked about that already yesterday?
I only saw Andy Rooney at the end, who was sensational last night. I saw the beginning piece. I forget what it was about.
Well, one of the segments was about Baghdad's mostly Shiite.
Right.
They're being oppressed, of course, but there's an Ayatollah that is ready to go in, and he'd probably be a natural leader for the people in that city. But we don't want any part of that because, of course, our dealings with Ayatollahs and all. But
yeah, we don't have a good track record with Ayatollahs.
Yeah, we're not going to go for that. But they talked about when we left after the Gulf War, Bush told the people to rise up. They did.
Oh, I did see that, yeah. And just like we did in Hungary, just like we always do, we always tell the people to rise up, and then we let them get slaughtered.
Yeah, so why should they trust us?
They don't. They hate us.
And you know that Bush right now is pumping record amounts of oil into the strategic reserve? It's record high prices of oil, and he is pumping record amounts of oil into the strategic reserve.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? On two accounts, it limits the oil on the market, and it's costing the most to put it, at this time to put it in.
Let me take a look right now at the price right there in the commercial. I'll do it in a minute. The crude oil price, it was up like 39 cents real early, so it's probably going to go up another 50 cents to $1 today.
Yeah, but I had the article. It's just, why now? Other presidents have actually taken it out or threatened to take it out to level the price of oil. I don't think he's interested in that, of course, to bring the price of oil down.
Of course not. He wants to goose it up, baby. More profits for Chevron, Condoleezza, and all his other good buddies.
In closing, I have a very, very
Dick Cheney
bad feeling about what Saddam is going to do as his last move in Baghdad.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's La Bamba or
chemical weapons, man. I have no doubts.
La Gaza, and it's just. Why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he take the whole city out when it's done?
Well, like I said, we prodded the hornet's nest, and now we're going to pay a wicked price, and so are a lot of innocent bystanders. I'm going to say it again. Oh, where's that article by Jimmy Breslin, George?
Oh, I had it here a moment ago.
No, you didn't. Oh, seriously, where the hell is that? That I was going to read again the Jimmy Breslin column about blood on the hands? Huh? Well, there's so many. Oh, here, I got it.
Okay.
Just relax, Carlos. He goes flying out there. Just calm down, okay, Beaner boy? Or either that or he left for the ball game already. I got it right here. Just relax. Man, you are such a...
There is no relax mode.
Such a bumblebee in heat. My God. Like Rumpelstiltskin on doggy uppers. By the way, we got drugs in here, doggy uppers, Muff. Come and bust them. Oh, wouldn't you like to have been a fly on the wall to see that? Duff busting Anthony and Vlad for smoking a joint in the car today. Oh, get out of here. Grow up, you silly old coot, man. You are an old man. You silly old goose. He does that one more time. We're going to start doing stuff on the air about the medication he was taking last summer when he was heavily medicated. Remember those days? Oh, bro.
No, not me.
Yeah. He was popping it.
I don't remember.
He was out of style. He didn't know what planet he was on. He didn't know whether he was on the moon or Uranus. Although he did say he enjoyed it. Clearance. Jimmy Breslin writes in Newsday today, I read this at the beginning of the show, worth reading again. Blood remains on the hands. The least blood, a small squirt when removing a needle, 2 drops, that's all, no more than 2 drops, and suddenly it's everywhere. It remains after all. Wipe it and it returns. Look about, and it is in 2 and 3 places. Wipe those places and the blood doesn't go away. 2 drops appear as a needle comes out, and then it's endless. Blood from the body of a baby bombed to death in Baghdad, blood by the pint, running onto the street as fast as a swift river, has magic in its pure infant cells. Of course, you cannot scrub the street clean because the blood from the baby already has covered the street and is in the air. Blood from a bombed baby in Baghdad goes over the wide choking sands, and it crosses mountains and then great land masses, and then suddenly over a channel it's in Westminster in London, and people look at the sidewalk and wonder where these large blood spots came from, and the officer on duty in front of 10 Downing Street looks at the door handle and worries, how did this get here without me seeing this and having it cleaned? He has a servant rush to the door with cloth and polish as he wipes the blood and polishes the door handles, and then walks off, and the guard happens to glance at the door handle, and the blood is back, smeared bright new red over the polished handle. The baby's blood is off to rush over the ocean, a strange red cloud poised to rain, and it floats over the green of the Washington parks and goes down to a sloping street over the State Department, where as a man opens a car door for Colin Powell, he suddenly notices blood on the door handle and quickly unfurls a handkerchief and wipes the handle, and Powell gets in and the car goes off, and the man who held the door is left in the driveway and sees the red is still on Powell's door handle. When he leaves the car, Powell doesn't notice the door handle as he touches it himself. The blood-red cloud goes over the river to the Pentagon, and it suddenly pours on the car that takes Rumsfeld to an appearance, and this time the blood is left on the door handles of both sides. A sergeant wipes. The blood is there when Rumsfeld gets home. The red cloud then comes down on the White House lawn, and it does more than sprinkle. It splashes the helicopter of the president, and he strolls out with his wife, his dog, and his chesty walk and slight smirk, and the wife at his side is smiling, for it's the end of the week and we are good, decent Christian people. God bless us and God bless everybody. And as they're about to get in the helicopter, an Air Force officer rushes up in alarm and says, please, just give us a moment, and he has 3 people scrubbing so quickly to clean the blood from the helicopter, and then Bush and his wife get aboard and fly off to Camp David, for where else would you go on a weekend, as they've neglected to have 2 men hanging out of the windows inspecting the sides of the craft in midair. Nobody can see the blood back on the helicopter. As they get off at Camp David, Bush's hand brushes against baby blood on a plane, as does his wife's. At this hour in London, Blair arrives in the middle of his long night and goes to the bathroom to try and wash this blood off. He couldn't do it before he went to bed. In Washington, Rumsfeld stares at the red splotches on both his hands, and Colin Powell calls out that there must be something wrong with the soap because it doesn't get the blood off his hands. At Camp David, Bush notices blood on his right hand. He goes to the bathroom to wash it off, and he holds his hands under the water and rubs them with a bar of soap and then puts them under the water and takes them out and holds them to dry with a towel. He glances at his hands and sees the blood of the dead baby is bright on his fingers. He mutters and washes the hands again. He'll do it again this year and next year and through all the years, because the blood remains forever on the hands. Boy, is that good. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say I have 2 nephews over there in the war.
Uh-huh.
And I am totally against the war. This war is wrong, it's illegal, unjustified, and everything else I can possibly think of.
Uh-huh.
And I find it just wonderful. All these people who are rah, sis, boom, bah for this war have nothing to lose in this war. They don't have a child's life to be lost.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, George Bush was not elected president of this country. That is true. It will always be true. And I'm not letting it go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hang in there, sweetheart. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, Jerry's so desperate now he's back to the handwriting. I got him. Got him on the typing. I'm out of here, Jerry. You little pudwacker, you little piece of turd, you little pin needle.
Prick.
Oh, what's wrong with that? He's got a pinprick. Maybe he's got diabetes.
And a needle nose.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Back to you.
I suggest to that lady that just called not to walk in Little Havana because anybody that is against the war is a comunista.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
You know, I'm calling you from Little Havana, and the Saturday when they had that group of people.
That embarrassing performance, yeah.
Well, it's anything new. It's always embarrassing. Ileana Ross Letner, it was funny though. She said, she was yelling, Bush, 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 libertad, libertad, Bush, Bush, Bush. And then the old Cuban cannot say Bush, so they say boo, 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 boo. It sounded like they were booing there.
Good.
Let me tell you, whatever happened to a lady that used to work in the station called Carolyn.
What happened to her?
Yeah, somebody told me she's working in another station now.
No, she's down the hall at Power 96.
Oh,
yeah, they keep her real busy.
I know, because they saw her with one of the executives in Jamaica recently.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. One of the executives from where?
From your station.
Woo!
Man. And his initials are G-R.
E-E-D-Y.
Eh?
Huh.
G like great.
I'll be damned.
Like red.
Yeah.
And they were hand in hand.
Uh-huh.
So that's a little gossip.
Well, I'm certainly going to check into that.
For WQB.
Hasta luego, amigo.
Bye-bye.
See ya. He's an agent provocateur. George is hiding under the counter. Listen, I don't know what he's talking about, do you? We don't have any idea what he's talking about. Yeah, we do. 26 past the hour. Let's see. I know this is off the subject, but I recommend watching the movie Autofocus starring Greg Kinnear about the life of Bob Crane. Oh, yeah. Who was a raving right-wing... I didn't know that. Did you know Bob Crane was a raving right-wing lunatic?
Not till now.
Didn't swear, smoke, or drink, but was a total sex perverter, made thousands of hours of homemade pornography on video. We knew that. The movie all but says Crane was killed by his friend John Carpenter, who was a real creep and leech. Yeah, it's a good movie, and the actor who plays Werner Klemperer is perfect, especially when he says, Hogan. See, I never watched Hogan's Show.
Hogan?
Sorry.
Oh, funny.
Never watched it.
I mean,
Is that the show that Richard Dawson was on?
Sure. A spoof of the Germans.
Arthur Mayford? Poor Richard Dawson.
He wasn't quite so drunk during
I see. It says, I love you. You understand the Gestapo keeps track of everyone. How do we live without that drop? Condoleezza. I do like it.
You understand the Gestapo keeps track of everyone.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Yes, it is. So what was that guy saying before? 5670560 pound 5. Our amigo. What the hell was he talking about?
I don't speak English.
Here's a call from Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
You know what really ticks me off is you say the word Bush, every jackass out there thinks that this asshole is a god.
Really?
You know,
I haven't met any of those people yet.
You haven't? They're every Cuban Republican in Miami, for Christ's sake.
Don't be redundant now, man.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
And that bitch, what was the name of that bitch from Fox Radio?
Heather. Fox News Heather. Yeah.
Heather, that bitch. You never saw her call and complain about your spoofs about Clinton or even the spoofs on Bush.
How about Jocelyn Elder? She's black. Last time I checked, nobody had any problem with that because she's a liberal.
Yeah, you had to spoof on
Don't keep saying spoof. They're going to think you're saying spook. Don't keep saying spoof.
I'm sorry.
That bit. Say bit.
That bit.
No, don't say bit either. They're going to think you're saying something rhymes with bit. Fine. Well, we're very sensitive now. We have to be politically correct. We can't even say balls on the billboard. I mean, for anybody who missed this over the weekend, it wasn't bad enough. It was the University of Miami and Donna Shalala who's busy waxing her shillelagh. That wasn't bad enough that she caved into Wacky Jackie Thompson about the billboard that says we've got balls at QM and it's got the logo with the 4 teams we carry around. It wasn't that. But now Eddie Jones, the president of the Dolphins, says the billboard is inappropriate and he complained to QAM, so we're going to have to take down the Dolphin and the Hurricane logos off that billboard. And you know something? Who cares? Who the hell would want to promote people who are a bunch of blue noses like that, huh? The freaking Dolphins. We've got balls. And I'll say it again, all you Dolphins out there who've wondered why the team chokes and gags every year during December when the season is really on the line. There's the answer for you. No balls. Oh! I think that should be their promotional campaign all season long upcoming. We got no balls. As opposed to some other teams like the Patriots, like with Tom Brady, who's got real balls, and some of us would like to check it out. What are you shaking your head about, okay, little bugaron? Clarence told me how you got the job. Who you kidding? Anybody who washes his things in the sink. See, I was going to say washes his balls in the sink. We can't say that either.
Jules.
No, he's golf. He plays golf. He plays golf with Mo on the weekend.
Don't they have ball washers right there on the
You ought to see
course?
where Mo puts his balls.
Rectum.
12:30. Well, you know, that kind of plugs things up on Daisy Forgets the Bag. Because Geldy don't want no more of that overflow anymore. He can't handle it. He's just foaming at the mouth. 12:30 at QM, we got the opening day. Where's my maraca? Yeah, here we go. Straight from Maraca into your radio. There you go, the Maraca for the Marlin home opener. In a town where we have no interest in basketball, no interest in hockey, certainly no interest in baseball. And then the Dolphins that you used to like, they turn out to be a bunch of blue-nosed schmucks who have no balls. Hey, if you'd like to rest your balls and the rest of you on a nice, comfortable mattress every night for months and years to come, here's the answer. Pick up your instrument and call our friends at Dollar Mattress. Over 1 million people have bought a mattress over the phone from these folks, including me several times, and hundreds more are doing it every week. This is the smart way to shop. Instead of getting ripped off by your bedding in department stores, and of course, even just go in there. Just wasting the gas that costs you about $50 a gallon now. Just sit there, make an easy shopping deal by picking up the phone, and one easy call to 1-800-MATTRESS will get the job done for you. 1-800-MATTRES. They got the best manufacturers in the business. They carry Sealy and Serta, Simmons King Coil, every size and style under the sun, ready for just about immediate delivery too. Like I've been telling you for years, their delivery deal is unbeatable, and their price is unbeatable too. Once you buy a mattress from Dollar Mattress, you'll never go back to the old-fashioned way of schlepping to a showroom again. And please keep in mind when you buy a mattress from Dollar Mattress, they take away the crappy old soiled smelly bedding and set up your brand new one for free. You know, it's a shame this station has a penchant for stuff like this. You heard me right. Dollar Mattress sets up the new and takes away the crappy old bedding for free. So call right now. You'll be sleeping like a baby for months and years to come. Call 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES for our good paisans at Dollar Mattress.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
The sign that used to say Joe Robbie went dark, and now they're calling it Pro Player Park. Cause Fruit of the Loom said it's time for a change.
Yes.
The new rules are you have to show up in your underwear, and no one ugly is allowed in there, so you'll have lots of fun checking out those buns. My zipper's flying down, so I can get my kick up when the game is over tight. Just like my Fruit of the Loom's back around over my bulging mouth. Now you can see a lot more at the game, since everybody is undressed the same, and you can look around to see what's hanging down. This is paradise found. I never realized just how good it would feel being clad in my jockeys at the football field, since the Robbie is gone, and now it's PP Park.
Look at this. It's on that blonde, man. I'm going to start on this thing, and I'm going to rap on it all year long. You jackass. I like guys. Come on in and lay down on myself. Well, all right, sports fans.
I ate at the falafel ball stand, and met the new team mascot underwear man. Looked for chicks and stared at the fun zone up above, at their tunnels of love. I've never realized just how good it would feel being clad in my jockeys at the football field, since the Robbie is gone, and now it's BP Park.
Yes.
They call it BP Park. Let's hang at BP Park.
Top 35, big opener, the Marlins and the Phillies, 4:05 this afternoon. Little Beaner Boy's going to be there. In fact, bring him some food, okay? He's got the tickets from me for free and the parking pass. Bring him some hot dogs, because they got weenies out there now this year. They're not going to run out of weenies. They'll have programs.
You wouldn't mind a cup of beer as well?
Cup of beer for Little Beaner Boy? He'll be farting up a storm in here tomorrow. We don't want that. No beer. Well, of course, he's in there with you, so if you like it.
We have a scented candle.
Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Look, just to get my point across, I disagree with you with the war and everything, but that's neither here or there. But my question is that last week on the news they were showing the peace protesting that was going on in New York City.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, from what I heard on the news, that the peace protesters got a permit to protest from like 8 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So at 5 o'clock, 5:01, the NYPD decided, okay, the peace protesting is over.
Mm-hmm.
Time to go home.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these peace protesters started picking up barricades and sticks and started throwing at the cops.
A handful of them. I saw the same news you saw. You're talking about a handful of people, right?
Yeah, but still, man. I mean, they're protesting. It's their right. It's a free country, and
thank God that the people on the other side never do anything unruly when they have marches and when they protest, or that when these people come out that they never do anything, throw things at them. Get out of here, silly person.
Well, that means that the war
See,
is
it's the good guys against the bad guys. Don't you understand? Like the president said, you're either with us or against us. All the good people are on his side, and all the rest of us are evildoers.
If some protesters get unruly, that justifies the whole war thing.
3 British soldiers sent home after protesting at civilian deaths. From the British newspaper The Guardian, somebody just faxed this to me. Thank you, Fred in Naples. 3 British soldiers in Iraq have been ordered home after objecting to the conduct of the war. It's understood they have been sent home for protesting that the war is killing innocent civilians, which it is. The 3 soldiers, including a private and a technician, are from 16 Air Assault Brigade, which is deployed in southern Iraq. Its task has been to protect oil fields. The brigade includes the 1st and 3rd Battalions of the Parachute Regiment, the 1st Battalion of the Royal Irish Regiment, a Royal Horse Artillery Regiment, and the Reconnaissance Squadron of the Household Cavalry. The 3 soldiers based in Essex face court-martial and are seeking legal advice, defense sources said. The Ministry of Defense said it was not prepared to comment on the individual cases. It said it had no evidence to suggest the soldiers have been sent home for refusing to fight. It's understood the 3 soldiers have been sent home for complaining about the way the war is being fought and the growing danger to civilians. The fact that they're seeking legal advice makes it clear they've been sent home for refusing to obey orders rather than because of any medical or related problems such as shell shock. Any refusal of soldiers to obey orders is highly embarrassing to the government, with ministers becoming increasingly worried about the way the war is developing. It's also causing concern to British military chiefs who are worried about growing evidence of civilians being killed in fighting involving American soldiers around urban areas in southern Iraq. I just mentioned that in passing. Liberation by elimination. Death will set you free. Here's our most chronic faxer who says, Marlin Spy Report, went to Joe Robbie to get tickets for tonight and the only tickets left were Upper Deck. Maybe a sellout, question mark? Well, yeah, after they give away the first 20 or 25,000. Opening day, don't get all excited, don't get all worked up. It's an event, it's a happening, I have no idea why. I was wondering that myself last night. They were talking on this station about, oh, it's opening day, it's a big happening. Why?
You're asking me.
No, but seriously, if you're not interested in something, do you care if it's opening day, the middle of the season, the 150th game, the
last
third
day,
game?
First
well,
day,
if you're not interested, why are you interested in opening day? I mean, it's not like, I do realize that championships like the Super Bowl or the World Series or the Stanley Cup Finals, they will attract people who ordinarily don't, they could care less during the regular season. But there are some people who like to watch the World Series. Like George, of course, always will watch if there's a 7th game in the World Series. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Or like if Tiger was involved on a real tight match on the last couple of holes. Huh? The Tiger? I just don't get it. If there's no legitimate interest, why is this well, we've waited all of these months for this, Well, you didn't care last year. Well, we still don't care, but we want to be there. Got a lot of free tickets. Like Carlos, he don't give a crap. He's got his damn, what's that, cap he's got? Oh, the
U.S. Open.
U.S. Open. He's waiting for the golf, man. I told you he was washing golf balls in the sink. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hello there.
Or is that the tennis tournament?
I don't know. Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hard to tell when you're on.
I'm right here. Just don't get panicky.
Now, listen.
I just get distracted easily by tennis and golf.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been listening to you since day one. You started on here in Miami.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, well, I'm not a caller. I'm a listener.
Good.
You're very entertaining over the years.
I agree.
I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Anyway, about this Iraq thing, I was a volunteer in the military, and all the people that volunteer for the enlisted ranks are usually about 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When you're 20 years old, basically you don't know anything from anything, and so all these most of the people over there now, they I'm sure they never thought they'd be, in combat or approaching combat.
Mm-hmm.
And, there they are. And I'm against us being there, but it just shows you who's got the power and who doesn't have the power.
That is correct. You're right.
So, what can you do? But another thing about the U.S. government, just recently, the hijackers that came from Cuba,
mm-hmm.
They released on bond.
Yeah.
They got out on bond. They got ankle bracelets on.
Mm-hmm.
But the Haitian children that are in the hotel at Bird, I think it's a Bird Road, and I don't know if that might be my phone. Anyway, at Bird Road and 117th Avenue.
Yeah.
They're still in prison in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
There you go. Well, we got a double set of standards. That's no news bulletin, man. Always has been, always will. They don't have any political clout.
No, but
they don't have no Ileana Gross, Rosanna Dana Leighton.
Exactly, but our government says we're against terrorism, and we got people that hijacked an aircraft here to the Keys.
Right.
And then we take the hijackers and release them on bond.
Sure.
I guess to the family members in Miami. I don't know.
As long as they came from the right place, man. They got the political connections and the cash. We don't care.
Yeah. But
good luck to us, man. Hang in there.
It's incredible. Okay.
This too shall pass. You know, like a bad kidney stone.
But this will pass. And the thing is that every there's a new generation every 5 minutes. Hello.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you know what I'm saying. In other words, they know that the people with the power, they know they got another generation every 5 minutes, which is basically ignorant of just about everything.
And they're doing everything they can to keep it that way. Hang in there, man. I'll
Okay,
see you.
bud.
I'll see you on the other side. 5670560. What are you smirking about? I'll see him on the other side. And the way things have been going lately might be pretty soon, you know?
What side's that? The dark side?
The dark side. Here's a fax that says I can't find any difference between Al Jazeera and Fox Jazeera. They both tailor information to their fanatical audience and demonize any opposing viewpoints. Very well said. By the way, now that you're back, is there any chance you can play the bit of the black lady who found a turd in her car? Can you imagine that?
Thank you for calling SST Towing. How may I help you?
I just picked up my 92 Accord from your lot, and there is a huge turd in the back seat.
A huge turd?
Yes.
And there's what in the back seat?
A turd. A big-ass human turd in the back seat of my car.
Ma'am, I assure you, our guys did not take a dump in your car. If you want to, bring that car back and we'll take a look at it.
You want to take a look at it? My car is fine. It's that big-ass turd in the back seat.
Okay, what would you like me to do?
I said, okay, how about I go to your house and pitch a loaf on your couch?
Ma'am,
how about that?
Ma'am, what would you like me to do to fix the situation?
I want somebody to come over here, get this turd out my back seat.
That's not going to happen.
Car. What do you mean it's not going to happen?
You can bring the car here and we can take a look at it.
I am. I'm going to bring it back there. You know what I'm going to do?
Huh.
I'm going to take a dump in every last car you got there. I'm going to pee on your counter. I'm going to do it all to show you how it feels.
Okay.
And you know what? You sound like a big burly man. It probably came out your ass.
Oh, yeah, I don't make it a habit of going out and taking a dump in the car.
How much do you weigh?
About 400 pounds.
That's your turd. That's
my turd, huh?
Yes.
That came up from a 400-pound man, huh?
This is a 400-pound man. Either that or a gorilla.
Okay.
I'm driving this car right to my lawyer's office, and I'm going to let the whole world see. You're going to be on the news this evening, buddy. I'm going to get 7 on my side. Watch. You're going to be on the news.
Can you describe the piece of shit? I mean, what does it look like?
You know what it is. It came out your ass. What the hell? What kind of asking me what color? I tell you what, it smells ungodly. That's what it smells like. Smells like you sold your ass to the devil. That came from the pits of hell.
Well, how big is it? How long is it?
It's not as long as my arm. I don't think it's fun. Why y'all? This is not fun. I got a damn 2x4 in my back seat. You know, I think this some racial shit too. That's what this is. Little kids are running away from it. I'm glad y'all find this funny.
Okay.
You probably on the steering wheels too, don't you?
All right. How long does it look like it's been sitting there?
Steve is coming off of it, okay?
Steve is coming off of it?
Yes.
Well, it can't be there that long then, huh?
I am taking, it's a fresh turd.
Okay. What you need to do is you need to bring that turd back, and we'll match it up. We got a lineup. We'll match it up with the other turds that we have.
Well, what you need to do is learn how to use a toilet.
So you're not going to bring the turd back to me?
No. You know what?
Is this a sample?
No. I'm starting to like it.
You're going to keep it as a fact?
I'm going to keep it because it's a nice, you know what? It's a nice conversation piece.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you, brother.
You turd. 1246 at 560 WQAM, the Mad Dog coming up next. I wonder what the Mad Dog's going to have to say. Mr. Dolphin, huh? Mr. Macho. About Eddie Jones and the We Have Balls billboard. The big controversy with Eddie Jones and the Dolphins. Yeah, maybe they could change their name from the Dolphins to the Pussycats. Yeah. What a joke. We have balls. Man, seriously, when you stop and think about that, it's so embarrassing. Humiliating and degrading that a bunch of adults. Of course, when you get to be Eddie Jones' age, maybe he's a little past senility, like Mo.
Uh-huh.
Hey, don't be like Sodom. If you find yourself in a real dead-end job, pick up the phone and call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN to get started in a new high-paying computer job. Unless you're hiding under the desk and cruise missiles are landing all around you, there are no other excuses. Call Fast Train and get yourself started on the road to a big, fat, useful paycheck. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. Fast Train offers convenient day, evening, weekend classes. Check them out on the web if you like, fasttrain.com, and get out of that dead-end job. Quit working for some schmuck. Unlike dictators, computer professionals are in high demand, and the demand is getting higher by the minute, just like Vlad and Anthony. Call Fast Train today. They got locations all over town. Miami, Kendall, Pembroke Pines, Fort Lauderdale. There's bound to be one nearby you. Register at fasttrain.com to get your free American flag bumper sticker, too, or not, as the case may be. Call Fast Train today, toll-free, and tell them that Todd Dreck told you to make that call. 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
Live and local. This is 560.
The radio's all yours now.
WQAM.
I was standing there one day, not thinking I would die from being able to make do. I should never eat McDonald's. A Big Mac must be trapped inside my bowels. How can you die from impacted thoughts? Let these butcher doctors in. Now my heart stopped. You schmucks at cyanide tore my intestines out.
Yes.
I guess I should have known what to expect living in Miami with the kind of service you get in this town. I would hack and leave tomorrow if I didn't eat that crab I swallowed. Why can't you lend me some Ducalats? Why can't you losers get it right? My bowels were blocked inside my hiney. Can't make my turds go out.
Rectum.
Me estoy muriendo aquí.
10 till 1 at 560 WQM. 600 votes even on a poll. Which of these best describes South Florida? We asked on NeilRogers.com. Banana Republic, 204. Intellectual Wasteland, 86. Land of Crooks and Schnooks, 76. Land of Sun and Fun, 59. Haven for Rubber Rafters, 54. Outdoor Funeral Parlor, 52. Maggot Magnet, 40. And Paradise, only 29 says Paradise, huh? That sounds like Mo's whole audience. Here's a call from Sweetwater. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, actually, I have to say I'm from Hialeah. I'm just hanging out in Sweetwater getting my tag done.
That's okay.
Real quick, forget about all this war talk. Let's get to something important, like hammering Mo. On top of being arrogant, antiquated, and just a pain in the ass to listen to, he's also grammatically challenged. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Whenever a caller comes in on the cell phone, he goes, whatever, in a mobile. Now, asshole.
Okay, great. 567-0560, pound 560. Sounded like he was in the middle of a cluster fork to me, whoever that kid was. Of course, there's a lot of those going on in Sweetwater. 567, we got many open lines and 9 minutes to kill here. I think we may have a real problem, May have to play that turd bit again. Here's a call from Orlando. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
For 2 weeks I've been wanting to mention this to you. Months ago you were talking about somebody from Westwood One wanted to sign you up a contract for
that's ancient history, months ago.
Well, all we have up here is the right-wing assholes, the Hannitys and that whatever his name, Michael Savage.
Mm-hmm.
These guys make me sick.
Yeah.
I wish, I know you said you're at the end of your contract, but man, you're the voice. You need to get out there and let this be heard.
Call up my lawyer, Norma Kent. He's busy doing bad drugs also. Call him up and see what he's going to do for me.
Hey, get off your ass, Norma.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay, good luck to me, pal. Norma Kent. Beep, beep. Go see a baseball game. Oh, Norma will be out there for opening day today. Go watch the ball game and don't call me again, okay, unless it's a major emergency. Unless it's like the end of the world. Don't ever... In fact, I'm going to make a list. Seriously, I'm going to make a list of people don't ever call me again. P.D. Lenny, Norma Kent, unless it's a major emergency, and something that has to do with me. Not something that has to do with Greg Reed's got a problem with this one, or somebody. I don't care. That's their problem, okay? Better them than me. I've already paid my dues. P.D. Lenny, Norma Kent, who else?
Well, I have some suggestions.
Yeah, but see, you're going to say Rimmer.
Yeah?
That's terrible. Rimmer. No, that's bad. By the way, Jeff Cohen was in here this morning. He lost about 80 pounds. What happened to him?
He cut his hair off?
No, forget that. Must be like Samson. Like
Went
David,
to the gym?
David Samson. Delilah cut off his hair and he withered away.
He's dating, or at least he's
No,
trying
he's
to.
He said he isn't getting laid.
He's trying.
And of course, anybody that looks like that, my God, he's a shadow of his former self.
He had a gut.
And he said that this war has really hurt business everywhere. As if that's a big surprise. It's not good for business, I'll tell you. Look at that. The Dow's down 134.5. NASDAQ's down 21. Not good. The Dow is hovering just over 8,000. It'll end the day under 8,000. I just have the feeling. My psychic Neil feelings again. MSNBC, what kind of problem? Oh, it's Bino Schmidt.
Iraq saying this will now become military policy to use suicide bombers, and praising this action, quoting the Palestinian Brothers, or I should say comparing the suicide bomber Najaf to the Palestinian Brothers. The U.S., in the meantime, says that if unarmed vehicles or armed vehicles that do not stop after 5 seconds, they will be fired upon to prevent stuff like this, casualties like this. Here in Port Stewart, we spoke to a number of wives, Brian, who say they are relieved in one sense that it is not their loved ones who have been killed, but one also telling our producer the 3rd Infantry Division is one family.
There you go. Suicide attacks. You ain't seen nothing yet is what they're promising. We stirred the hornet's nest, and you know what usually happens? Crap. Bad crap. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
Let me start out by saying, sir, that I defend everybody's right to their opinion. And
right.
It's not that I'm undecided. I really want to support our troops completely. I really don't believe in every excuse that's been made for the war, but I just feel that the protesters, I don't think that anybody who is not a registered voter should have the right to go on the street and protest.
Why is that?
Because if you're not going to make the difference, if you're not going to go at the next election and change it, then you should have a right to complain about it. If you didn't make a difference in the last election.
Let me ask you this. How about the people who did vote in the last election and got disenfranchised anyway?
No, listen, believe me, I agree with you.
So what the hell has voting got to do with it?
Because there's people out there that are out there complaining about the fact that our government, that our president made this choice to go in there, but they didn't do anything to keep him out of the office in the first place.
I understand what you're saying, but they stole the election anyway, so what difference does it make?
But they have the ability to do something in the next election, right? Because if they sit on their butts again,
and let me ask you this, my psychotic friend. Let me ask you this: what is it that the Democratic Party is going to propose in the next election? What loser are they going to put forth in the next election to ensure another 4 years of this insanity in the growing American empire?
Listen, I tend to agree with you. I know that we have very poor choices when it comes to it. That our political parties are very weak with the choices that they offer us.
Very weak and very corrupt.
Unless we do something about it, I mean, who are we to complain?
Sir, when the parties don't put forward a candidate that somebody wants to vote for, that doesn't disenfranchise them from going out and exercising their right to assemble in the protest, whatever the hell it is.
I agree with that. I'm not saying that.
But you just got through telling me that they don't. That unless they voted or a registered voter, they got no right to protest. And the fact of the matter is they do.
Unless they're willing to make the choice to
go
and prepare themselves to be able to make
wrong, sir, wrong. And when you have nothing to vote for, when it's a total waste of time, that doesn't mean you just throw your hands up in the air. See, protesting is another way to change the system. Just like in Vietnam. Vietnam wasn't about an election. Vietnam was about a country that more and more started getting the truth, and the media finally, after years of slaughter, finally started catching on.
How about if you pay taxes, you have a right to protest and open up a big mouth?
I see. How about teenagers? Do they pay taxes? They pay sales tax.
Yeah, indirectly.
Now let me ask you this. Are people asking the children in Iraq if they pay taxes? The ones that are getting slaughtered, the ones that are getting blown up, the ones that are breathing in all that asthma-inducing air, all that polluted crap?
They're barbarians, and they're never going to like us.
I see.
They're going to love us when we're done.
Yeah, when we get done, making them an offer they can't. This is an offer they can't refuse. And remember what Michael said to Kay, or it was the other way around. Right. Kay said to Michael in Godfather 1, presidents and senators don't have people killed, Michael.
Yeah.
Now who's being naive? Kay? Spell K however you like, huh? Now who's being naive? 9/11. 50% of the American public think Iraq had something to do with 9/11. Did they have anything to do with it?
No.
No. None. Zero. Zippo. This isn't a war about terrorism or about any threat to the U.S. or Britain or to Albania or Poland. And then that's another thing that really cracks me up. Every time they do the briefing, the general gets up there like this morning, and well, the coalition continues to be very strong. We have 49 countries that have put their name on a piece of paper, and a whole bunch of those want to keep it quiet. Yeah. Wait a minute. They don't even want their names mentioned. They're so embarrassed. Well, it won't look good.
We're with you.
The fact of the matter is, you got a few Polacks in there, you got a couple Albanians, about a few.
Don't forget the Eritreans, whatever the hell they are.
The fact that there are no people other than Polish and Albanian. There are no, even Spain and Italy with their rousing endorsement, in spite of the fact that 80 or 90% of the people in those countries are against the war. Even Spain and Italy. Any troops?
No.
None. Zero. Count them. None. U.S., Britain, a few Polacks, that's it.
Australia.
And a few Aussies from down under. That's it. But we got 49 countries. We've got Las Malvinas, somebody.
El Salvador.
Mozambique. Madagascar. They're just making names up
Andorra.
now. And he even said Ceylon, which don't even exist. Now Sri Lanka. They don't like us. That little turd on the bottom of India's ass. And the Indians, by the way, are pissed off and fired up too.
Yeah.
And I think they're starting to get the same idea. Well, it's a war of preemption. Guess what? We're pissed off with your friends, the Pakis, okay? Yeah. We're going to fire them a little war of preemption. We'll send them a message. Like Zoe Zaza. We'll send them a message. By the way, Brian Sears is God at Pompano Park. Nice going, Brian. And that was him that called it, I found out. I'm very embarrassed. And Jay Sears, my friend Jay over there at Pompano, you ought to be run proud daddy. I'll tell you that. Brian Sears put on another performance Saturday night. 5 more winners at Pompano Park, the likes of which I can't begin to tell you. And Rich said, oh, Kevin warmed up China, and Rich continues being full of crap. Great guy, but full of crap. He had a big night, though. I'll tell you, the whole race by race.
Yeah.
He had the 3 over the 6, 7, 8, and the tour. 619. I want to hear what the Mad Dog has to say about Eddie Jones. I'll tell you that right now. I want to see the Mad Dog grow a pair and see whether we do have balls between 1 and 3 on his station. 619 votes. Which best describes South Florida? Banana Republic, 212.